PCCOE CIIL.
Oh, wonderful, sir. We are also excited to hear that.
Thank you so much, sir. Also, please do the startup and registered here.
Sorry, sir. What did you say about the registration?
I'm saying please do the startup, and if you required any help, we are the facilitators.
Yes, sir.
So
Definitely, sir.
I'll
I'm personally very much interested to know much things about the startups. Sorry.
wonderful. Then
Yeah.
I'm just a call away. My
Yes, sir.
numbers are always there in the, in the even flyers and so. I'm a co-host, right now.
Yes, sir. Your co-host.
Okay, I will share my presentation now. Just a minute. Is my presentation visible to you all?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you, PCU and all for this support. They are just right on the track, and will be just starting within few minutes, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Mrudang, have you sent me the names on WhatsApp? No.
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Yes, I got it. Mrudang,
Yes, ma'am.
I will first welcome, then we play the PCU video.
Yes, ma'am.
You can take it ahead.
Yes, ma'am. A very good morning to one and all. With the permission of Dr. Manimala Puri ma'am, Vice Chancellor, shall we start, ma'am, this session and webinar?
Yes, sure. Are the speakers there?
Yes, ma'am. I've just checked out. They all are here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We are honored to have a Vice Chancellor, Dr. Manimala Puri ma'am, to grace this webinar sessions and the occasion of promoting innovations and entrepreneurship across the PCET, Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust. And she being the driving force in all the activities related to innovations and entrepreneurships. I request now, ma'am, to please have share a few words of wisdoms.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Myself, Dr. Manimala Puri. I heartily welcome you to this webinar. I'm most privileged to welcome our guest for today, Mr. Ravi Bhardwaj. Sir, namaskar.
नमस्ते मैडम।
पहले भी मिले हुए हैं।
हाँ मिले हुए
हैं। Mr. Ravi Bhardwaj, whom I know for quite some time now, is startup legal advocate, mentor, and advisor. Mr. Ganesh Thorat and Mr. Mihir Kedar, founder Cerebrospark Innovations. Mr. Dinesh Israni, founder and director, Naman Agile Foundation. I welcome all our esteemed speakers today on this very unique webinar. It's startups, all you need to know from startup ecosystem enabler. So I'm sure that our faculty members who have joined this webinar today will gain a lot from this discussion that happens today. Let me tell you a little bit about PCU. Our Pimpri Chinchwad University is established under the aegis of the Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust, which has a legacy of nurturing excellence since 1990. And the PCET runs various colleges in the Pimpri Chinchwad area in 4 campuses. And this is the 5th campus that a private university has been established. And this university was established just last year. And we got the permission as late as May 6th. Just yesterday, we finished 1 year. And we could start our admissions. And I'm very happy to tell you that we started off the first academic year with 1,200 students. We have various schools. We will run a short film for you right now, telling you more about PCU. We have various schools like engineering and technology, management, School of Sciences, School of Liberal Arts, pharmacy program. And this year, we are also planning to start a law program. So Bhardwaji will be needing your help once we start the law program.
Certainly.
Yes.
I'll be there.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We are also starting this year a school of mass media and journalism. So these are the 2 new schools that we will be starting this year. And we have residential hostels. Right now, out of these 1,200 students, can we have it on mute? Everybody on mute? So we have these students staying at hostels. And right now I have about 450 students being on the hostels. And next year we are planning to have at least 1,300 to 1,400 students on the campus. And the student strength we expect to go at least up to 3,000 plus. So these are our plans for the coming academic year. Can we have everybody on mute, please? Can we have everybody on mute, please? There is some disturbance.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am, they have muted.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so we are planning to go ahead in this way, and I'm very happy to tell you that our program structure and syllabus is very much NEP compliant. The National Education Policy envisages that you have certain courses on skill development, you have certain courses on ability enhancement, like we are having 3 foreign languages, they can choose out of German, Japanese, and French, one of the languages, which will add to their CV and give them the extra edge that is required. Then we have value-added courses. So there is a lot of focus on ethics and the Indian knowledge system as well. So we have imbibed all that in our curriculum, and it has been very carefully framed and put into place. And we have, let me tell you that we have a lot of industry experts on our board of studies and on our advisory board. At the same time, we also have bilateral MOUs with 32 universities, which are foreign universities, and the trust has these 32 MOUs already in place. So we can leverage that. So our students can get exposure to foreign internships abroad. They can do a semester abroad and come back and complete their course here. So all that has been, leveraged and put to advantage of PC. Not taking more of your time, I welcome all of you once again. And I will now request Mr. Mrudang Shukla to start with the PCU film. So that will give you a glimpse because it's an online webinar. So you can see that. Thank you very much.
Just someone thumbs up me if you are able to see the video and also listen to the audio.
Not audible, sir.
We can see the screen, but probably your film is not playing.
You can, okay. Can the co-host play the video from their own end? Because just a minute.
Sharon, are you there? Sharon, are you there? One second, I'll ask her to play the video.
Yes, ma'am, because I think why it is not.
Ma'am, only 1 second, ma'am. Sharon, we are playing the video. Just give me 2 minutes.
Yes, Zamir, please.
Yes, yes. Yes, sir.
I apologize for this delay, as it is uploaded in the cloud. So maybe.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, could you stop your screen sharing so I can just play the video? Then you can continue. Sir.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, we too are not able to hear the audio.
Can you see it?
Yes, I can see the video, but not the audio.
Yeah. Sharon, can you start again with the audio on? Samir, are you there? Sharon, no audio, please.
Ma'am, I'm checking the channel. बघा बघा.
No, we can't. We can't hear Sharon.
चला, 2 मिनिटं.
Ma'am, 2 minutes, ma'am.
Yeah. Everybody, please bear with her. Just give her 2 minutes.
The best thing that startup knows is to be patient.
Agreed, agreed. So we are giving an experience of
So
that.
it is an attribute of which will be tested right now.
Yes, yes, yes.
And,
As you,
and
as,
also when we have an advocate in our webinar who has a doubt on speaking anything else.
so as we can see, the lush green mountains around. So it's a very scenic location. And, especially in the monsoons, we have the clouds right up to this top of this mountain and which is very close to us. So that's a very good experience. And I feel the environment is very good for, very conducive for teaching learning because no other distractions.
And also the most importantly, in the first year itself, we have 1,000 admissions. You right, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah. So all the students are happy. That is no distractions, but at the same time, they can spend their Saturday, Sunday in the city, and they can. It's not very far off also. Because by highway it just takes us 45 minutes to reach Wakad. Yes, Sharon. Can we have everybody on mute, please? Can we have everybody on mute?
Yes, madam.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Sharon.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am. At the end of the session, we'll be playing the video. So
Okay.
we are
okay, you can start.
figuring out what's the problem.
Yeah, fine. So,
Yes.
Mrudang, you can start the sessions. At the end, they can play the video.
Sure, ma'am. Okay. Let me know if my screen is visible to you all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a minute. Hold on. I'll just put on the presentation mode. Right. A very warm welcome once again, and sorry for this inconvenience. I will just play the videos in the end, which is most remarkable video because of the scenic locations that we have at the university. And we urge you to please bear with us in the till the end for most importantly, seeing the video of this university. Welcome you all. Welcome startups. Welcome startup enablers. Welcome all from the PCCOE CIIL end. Let me give you a brief about the PCCOE CIIL. CIIL is Center for Innovation, Incubation and Linkages. It's a Section 8 registered Section 8 company hosted in the Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering of PCET, Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust. We offer the incubation and programs that offering a unique and incentivized solutions to the ideate and design the novel solutions. Our incubation programs is designed to nurture your entrepreneurial journey by providing mentor and the partner network, comprehensive support and resources, the mentorship programs to access the funding opportunities. Most importantly, we act as a facilitator to the startups. Purely as a facilitator to the startups. That means if you have a problem, let me know. I have the resources. I should have the resources. And we have enough resources considering PCET and the PCU with the support always with the PCCOE CIIL as in this Section 8 company. Soon we are registering with many startups and we are providing all these programs and already we have incubated many startups. Let me now today take this opportunity to introduce our guest for the day and speakers of the day. Next slide. Yeah. A speaker of the day, speakers and the startup ecosystem enabler, most importantly, the legal advisor, Mr. Ravi Bhardwaj, our startups who will share their journey from the students to entrepreneurs, Mr. Mihir, Kedar, and Mr. Ganesh Thorat, who is a founder and the director of Cerebrospark Innovations Private Limited, the private limited company concerned with the drones manufacturing and solutions. We have also angel investor and along with consultant, Mr. Dinesh Israni, from the Norman Angels India Foundations. Sir, we heartily welcome to you all and thank you for joining as a speaker and being an startup ecosystem enablers in these ecosystems. Let me first now introduce to Mr. Ganesh Thorat and Mr. Mihir Kedar of Cerebrospark Innovations Private Limited. They are the drone manufacturing and drone solution providing companies, and as you all can see, the products and as well as their innovations and their achievements throughout, and also their associations with many enablers, and also the client days. They are also being the client of the Bihar government, where they executed a project of the drone services, along with it also to the Indian Army, and also, and this all at the age of 24. I guess I'm right of pronouncing your age, right, Mihir and Ganesh? Right. And started their journeys in 2019. We have Mr. Ravi Bhardwaj, sir, a legal advisor mentor. He's an esteemed mentor and advisor, leveraging his extensive experiences in the startup legal frameworks, educational institutions, consultancies, and innovations and incubations. And with a deep passion for fostering entrepreneurships and education, his advisory roles are instrumental in guiding the startups with the complex legal, regulatories, and strategic challenges. His commitment to innovations and legal acuity ensures that the organization receives the tailored forward-thinking solutions that drive that growth and successes. Most importantly, his services. Look at the services which every startup is essentials and needs it. Compliances, contract management, IP advisories, fundraising, merger and acquisition, policy formation, dispute resolutions, and sell for the soldierpreneurs. I like to please also request Ravi Bhardwaj sir to enhance this on the soldierpreneurs services. Also, there is one query form which I'll be circulating in the end of it to all ecosystem to the startups, where you can just pen down your queries, and he's there always for all to support and to solve those queries about it. We have a third angel investors as a speakers, an educationist and a technologist by the obsessions, Mr. Dinesh Israni from the Naman Angels India Foundations. And he's been known for the success of investing to the success of making an investable to the companies, and also his last mile business solutions, a company focused on the technology and business consulting. Mr. Dinesh, as a consultant and an entrepreneur, has been a part of the many success stories. Most importantly, Mr. Dinesh is a mentor par excellence to many technologypreneurs and focuses on converting technology products into businesses that can monetize these technologies. I've highlighted monetize these technologies, which is most essential in the later part of your journey, monetizing. Few of them are what they brings about it, what the services that can bring about it. I also take this opportunity, apart from the speakers also, some of the ecosystem partners to us. One is a CA partner, Mr. Amit Padya. He has accomplished his CA in 2022 itself. A young CA having a knowledge enough to handhold the startups. So I request and also to Mr. Kailash Patil of the Oro Innovations Private Limited. Oro Innovations Private Limited is a PCCOE CIIL innovation partner. Mr. Kailash has been my colleague in the education background in the BTech, and he has now been the owner and founder of this Oro Innovations Private Limited. They provide the services of prototype building, and also their area of the focus is engineering, mechanisms, project management, resource management, industrial design, and sales, finance. They are actually they are enabler of these ecosystems by providing the support of prototype building. We all understand how important it is for any innovators and startups. I request now Mr. CA, Mr. Amit Padya, to just brief us about something in 5 minutes about your services, along with it, what is essential for the startups over here. Mr. Amit, over to you. Mr. Amit, CA Amit.
Yes.
Can you please brief us about this slide which I have been showing to them?
Yes. Good morning, all of you. Thank you so much, Mrudang sir. First of all, I am very glad to know about our new entrepreneurs like Mr. Mihir, Kedar, and Mr. Ganesh, Thorat, and their achievements. Congratulations to them, first of all. We are also learning from them about new startups and all. And now you have to know about what is startup, first of all. So as per DPIIT, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, they have provided certain criteria and definition that should be followed to be known as the startup. Firstly, the startup to be the business of a startup to be incorporated as a company or a partnership firm or a LLP. And the most important thing, the business should be new. It should not be reconstructed or from existing business, and because it should not be considered as a startup. Okay, and then up to the 10 years from the date of its incorporation, your turnover should be less than 100 crores. Now, what is turnover? Turnover means your income from your main business. It doesn't include other income like interest and all. and financial year means 1st April to 31st March. And your business should be working towards innovation or improvement of some existing products, or and you should be able to generate the, and you should have the potential to generate employment or create wealth, because government has a nowadays only focus on employment generation. So it should also be the basic criteria. Now I will provide you the brief explanation about the private limited company, LLP, and partnership firms that are needed to be incorporated about for the startup. So first basic form of entity is partnership firm. Then second level entity is LLP, and third level entity is private limited company. So partnership firm, in all forms of entity, you need minimum 2 members or partners to form an entity. But private limited also provides a concept of one person company, in which you can form a company with only one member. But there are certain limitations and certain criteria which need to be followed. So this concept is not in existence with a large and again, in partnership firm and LLP, you need 2 designated partners, but there is a condition of maximum numbers of only 20 partners are allowed in partnership firm, and there is no maximum limit in LLP. And next, if I talk about a liability means in case you are bankrupt or you are indebted to something, so recovery in partnership firm, you don't have limited liability. Banks and other debtors can also charge on your personal assets, and in LLP and private company, the liability is limited up to the share capital or capital contribution. Okay, again, minimum capital required, there is no minimum capital requirement in all the 3 forms of entity, but the practical difficulty comes here that while we open bank account for our entity or do some incorporation expenses, so there is a need that we need to open bank account with minimum balance of rupees 50,000 or 1 lakh. These are the conditions of some standard banks. So at that level, if you infuse funds other than share capital, your funds infusion will be treated as an income or as an unsecured loan. So if you treat it as an income, you have to pay tax. Or if you treat it is an unsecured loan from director or from partners, then our entity from incorporation itself, it shows that it is dated out, it has burden of loans and all. So we always recommend that you should incorporate an entity with minimum 50,000 or 1 lakh capital, so that further process will not be complex. Again, there is a section in Income Tax Act, section 80 IAC, which recognizes startup only for private limited company and LLP. It doesn't recognize startup for partnership firm. So again, this section also provides you the income tax exemption of 100% for your business income for consecutive 3 years, and you can claim these up to the 10 years from the date of your incorporation. Means today, as on 2024, I incorporated my private limited company or LLP, and up to the 20 years, up to 2034, I can claim in any of the 3 years, in any of the 3 consecutive years, 100% deduction from my business income. So initially we have questioned that initially we have losses and what are the benefit of this section. So we can claim this benefit in further years. No need to claim in for first 3 years only.
Thank you so much, sir, for your brief introductions about it and also knowing them about the company formations and also the necessity of registering as a startup. To all the students who have joined here, this is for you all that what are the importance of the companies, and CA Amit along with me as a facilitator are always there for your support. Thank you so much, Amit sir. We have next is as a, just a minute, yeah. And Oro Innovations Private Limited, those are as a facilitator, they are the support partner for us for the prototype building. Can we have Mr. Kailash Patil for a brief introduction about your services?
Hi, good afternoon, Mrudang. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Kailash. We are Oro Innovations, that's what we call Oro. I have Umang with me right now here, who is my co-founder and partner in the business. Okay, for Oro Innovations, I think the time will be a little short, but I will try to be crisp on the presentation. We started Oro Innovations 4.5 years back. Considering to do our own products in the market, to start from the design, development, prototyping, and launch it to the market. So that's what we started this firm for. But meantime, we also started supporting some of the companies, some of the new people around to kind of get them the product to the market. So our core strength is to design the product, make it aesthetically, also make it engineering wise, it has to be manufacturable and take that product to the actual next level where we do the prototyping. We have the in-house support for the prototyping. We also have the manufacturing capabilities where we can launch the product from scratch to the final to the market. So that's how we started this whole ecosystem. Because our understanding from past, we've been in this business for a long time. Umang is here for more than 16 years. He's been doing industrial design, and he's graduated from IIT also. I have another partner, Karthik, who is mainly into the core engineering and product, plastic product design also. So who is taking care of the whole engineering aspect. And myself, I'm looking after the engineering, the mechanism aspect of the project, and I do some support on the production and the programming as well. So our aim is to kind of help the startups from taking from them, just to make sure that their whole journey is smoother, rather than sometimes it happens that where you have thoughts, but you don't know how to kind of take it to the next step. So that's the picture where we come into, and we try to kind of help them through their journey from the start of the product design to the final finished product to the market. So that's what our core strength is. We are 4.5 years in the business, but we are in the actual product design for more than 15 years.
Great. Thank you so much, my colleague, my friend, Mr. Kailash. So any of our startups or product-based startups or even service-based startups, if required in services, they do the assembling and testing, they do design studios, they all have their own design studios, they build their prototypes, tooling and productions, assembly, testing. This all are actual pictures of their labs, Oro Innovations. Oro Innovations is in Ahmedabad, and the person, Mr. Kailash Patil, has been known to me very well. And in total, from three of them, Umang Shah, Kailash Patil, and Karthik Chavda, we get 40+ years of experience in total. So that's more than enough, right? Friends, great. So don't worry about the prototype buildings. We are there. And along with, thank you so much, Oro Innovations, to be the part and of PCCOE CIIL team.
Thank you for us being inviting us as a partner, and then really happy to grab a program of student ideas and help them convert into some real good looking products. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, team. Now the most important part, to all the students, basically the students who are not necessarily from only engineering background, from any of the branches. That's why we have kept this webinar open for all the students. And so, how to start a startup? when I say to you, how do I to start a startup? I haven't formed a startup actually. I'm a facilitator to the startups. But a person whom I know, Mr. Ganesh, Thorat, and Mr. Mihir Kedar, they have been successful in forming a startup. Not brothers, but the brothers by the directors now since along 2018-19. A student of GSPM College who came to the incubation center in 2019, and now who they are. Let's hear from them. Over to you, Mr. Ganesh and Mihir.
Good morning, everyone. Sir, can you do you have the presentation which was
Yeah,
shared?
yes.
Okay.
Are you able to see the screen?
We can see the screen, sir, but the presentation is still not visible.
Oh, just a minute, huh? I'll just stop the share and share the screen now. Now is it visible?
Yes, sir, yes, it is.
Great. Please go ahead.
So before I start with the journey, I would like to explain what my company does and what all are the products and who all are we serving right now. So as you can see, the name of the company is Cerebrospark Innovations. We are a drone manufacturer and drone solution providing company. If you see the word Cerebrospark, it is a combination of two words, that is cerebro and spark. So cerebro is a part of the brain, and spark, if you put it in Hindi, it is batti. So the meaning of the word becomes as Dimag ki Batti Innovations. So that is how we came up with the word. And the next slide, please. Sir, can you put it in the presentation mode?
So there's a PDF. Just a minute, wait. I'm not that much tech savvy, man. How to put it, I have no idea. Just you continue, sir. Because there's a PDF actually.
Okay. Okay, next slide, sir.
Okay.
So the vision of our company is to emerge as the most dynamic and multidimensional drone company in India. And to achieve that, we are focusing on quality-based manufacturing and continuous advancement in the technology. Along with that, the technological advancement of the current drone industry also we are working on. Okay, next slide. So this is our core team. So Ganesh is the founder and CEO. I am Mihir Kedar, founder, CTO and CMO, and Rishikesh is COO.
Sorry.
Okay. The next slide, sir. Yeah. So basically, we are working in three major business divisions. So one is manufacturing, in which we are manufacturing various types of products. The other one is services, in which we are using our drones to provide services to various departments like the government, the defense, private sectors, agriculture, etc. And thirdly, which is recently launched, we are getting into the training part also, and we are getting the DGCA authorized drone pilot training organization set up in Pune itself. So in that, we will be providing drone pilot licenses to students, and basically our aim with that is to generate people with licenses who can actually start their own business in the drone industry. So we are trying to generate more entrepreneurs in this industry. Okay, next slide. So these are some of our milestones. We started our drone project, not a company, but drone project in 2018. And we completed several projects in 18 and 19. Then in 2020, we actually incorporated our company during the COVID pandemic. And from that, we have been, associated with a lot of clients in defense as well as in government sectors. Okay, next slide. So you can see some of our clients. We have Indian Army, Bihar Sarkar, Sparkonex, Automaton AI, Arkansas. So I'll give you a brief about what we have done for these people. So Indian Army, we have provided them with 7 drone systems, in which 2 of them are for explosive delivery drones, and others are surveillance drones. Then Bihar government, we are for the past 2 years now, we are working with them for prohibition of illegal manufacturing of liquor. So we are handling 7 districts of Bihar and also the Indo-Nepal border. So we are continuously doing surveillance over there for basically to stop smuggling of liquor. And then you can see Arkansas, we have provided them with the surveillance system. They basically manufacture bomb suits, bomb diffusing suits. And Gurutva systems, you must have heard recently that the Indian Army has procured around 150 anti-drone guns. So we have provided them with the testing services for those guns. Okay, next slide. So some of our facilities, you can see. Next slide. These are the products which we are actively working on. So the main 2 products which we have is CS Krishi and CS Mamba. CS Krishi is an agriculture drone in which we can spray pesticides over the fields. And the job, if we do it traditionally, the spraying job, it takes around 1 to 2 hours for 1 acre of spraying of land. And using our drone, you can do that in 7 minutes or less than 7 minutes, depending upon the field. And it is also reducing 98% of the water consumption also. And CS, can you get back to the previous slide? Yeah. So CS Mamba is a surveillance drone which we have deployed in Bihar for the surveillance and inspection services. Okay, CSB is a very small drone. If you see, the weight of the drone is 80 grams. So it is the size of my palm. So this drone, the speciality of this drone is we had made this for Indian Army itself, basically for tactical operations, and mainly for NSG commandos. Like we had the attacks of Mumbai, in which we were not able to understand where the terrorists are hiding in the Taj Hotel. So this drone can be used to send it through the window, and it can provide us a live feed of where the enemy is hiding. Okay, next slide. So some of our awards and recognitions, we have met many politicians. We have been awarded by many politicians, like our product CS Krishi. It was inaugurated by Dr. Tanaji Rao Sawant. He is the Minister of Public Health and Welfare of Maharashtra. And we were also selected in the top 7 young changemakers across India. And later it was selected under the top 2 young changemakers by UNICEF and Indian Express. Okay, next slide. So this was the brief about what the company is doing right now. So I will get to the point where how we had started the company and how we had come up with the idea of manufacturing drones. So it started in 2018. I was in first year and Ganesh was in second year. So that time we had a group and we wanted to do something, not specifically ki kya karna hai, but we wanted to do some project so that we would have an idea of how we can get into the, how we can get good marks in the final year project. So after a lot of discussion with our mentors, with our faculties, we decided that we will make a drone which will just fly. It will not have any application. So we did around 6 months of research on what are the drone parts, how to assemble a drone, how to make those parts in-house, and how to do the programming and all. So after that, we contributed the money for this project, and that time we had a team of around 13 members. So our budget was 13,000. So everyone had decided that everyone will put 1,000 each for this project. But later we came to the realization that the cost of this project is going way above than 13,000. So that time we had our mentors who had helped us. So they had put in some like 20,000, 15,000 rupees of money to help us complete the project. So after completing the project, we had a first flight. we remember that it took us around 2 days to completely assemble the drone. And we took the flight. It flew very well. And then we were excited that we wanted to show it to our mentors. So we called our mentors on the ground, and in that excitement, because we didn't know how to fly the drone, we before even the mentors had come to see the drone, we thought, "Ki, let's take a test flight." So we did that, and the drone crashed. And everyone was very, upset. The mentors also, they came, they saw that the drone was on the ground and it was broken into pieces. But they didn't like scold us and all. They just said ki it's okay, you can make it again. So we took the drone parts, and it was a 1 meter wide drone. So we took it in a polythene bag. It was a small polythene bag. We dropped everything in that, and we took it home. So the 2 days of working, we did it in the next night. So we again assembled the drone completely in like 4 to 5 hours. And next day we again took a flight. We showed it to our mentors, and that time it was flying very nicely. Later, because the drone did not have any application, we thought ki let us add some use case to the drone, because just flying a drone is not a good project. So we started developing different type of application and different type of projects through the drone, and we started taking part in various competitions. But unfortunately, in whichever competition we took part, we used to get rejected in the first round itself. So after multiple attempts, and we could not, clear even the first round, we started getting these, comments from our friends, from our classmates, from from some of our teachers also, that these guys are just making the drone, but their drone doesn't fly, or they are not able to bring any result. But we kept trying, and in 2020, in 2019 December, our article in Times of India got viral, and through that we got multiple calls. We got a call from IIT Madras, and they had invited us to showcase our innovation in the IIT Madras Technical Fest. So we went there. We saw there were multiple drone companies also. We were the only stall which were students, which were not a company, and yet we were there, and all the other companies had come with their products. So we got a good exposure over there, that what exactly is the need of the industry and how people are actually doing that. So that time we got connected to a lot of people who said that give us a call after you have incorporated the company. So we were very happy, and once we came back, we again started participating in different competitions, and uh, luckily we got selected in the final round of FOF hackathon, and then later we got the 50,000 cash prize from that hackathon. And then the lockdown came. So during the lockdown also, many of our team, they started leaving us. Only me and Ganesh were left in the team, and we used to talk like at night also, that how we can get this project or make new projects out of this. And that time the Indo-China conflict had increased a lot, and India had banned all the Chinese drones which were coming in the market. So that time we had this idea that we should commercialize our drones, and we should launch it in the Indian market as a foreign substitute. And that's when the idea of Cerebrospark was born. And we incorporated our company, and then from that 50,000 rupees only, we incorporated the company, and we started developing different type of drones. And then we got a call from Sparkonics India Private Limited. They had read our newspaper, in that Times of India newspaper, long back, and they just contacted us that they want to make a drone. And later we got connected with them, and they were our first client. So that is how the journey from a student to entrepreneur for us started. And I would like to ask now Ganesh to, give a detailed example. Yeah, Ganesh.
Mr. Ganesh.
Yes,
Meanwhile,
I am joining from the same PC, sir.
yeah, okay. Good.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. एंड मेरा नाम गणेश थोरात है. जैसे मिहिर ने कहा कि हम लोगों ने कैसे स्टार्ट किया, तो जब ये मतलब फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड ईयर की बात थी, जब सबको ये लगता है कि वी कैन क्लोज द प्रेजेंटेशन सर नाउ. यस. सो जब सबको यही लगता है कि इंजीनियरिंग में फाइनल ईयर प्रोजेक्ट इम्पोर्टेंट होता है एंड वहां पे अगर अच्छे से परफॉर्म करो तो मार्क्स अच्छे मिलते हैं, और वही फाइनल ईयर प्रोजेक्ट हम थोड़ा जल्दी करें थर्ड ईयर में सेकेंड ईयर में तो शायद और अच्छे मार्क्स मिलेंगे. ऐसा हमारा एक थॉट आया था, वहां से ये सब स्टार्ट हुआ. एंड लेटर जब तक हम लोग फाइनल ईयर में गए, हमारा 7 प्रोजेक्ट्स हम लोगों ने इस टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर कंप्लीट किए थे. कुछ थोड़ा छोटा मोटा फंड भी हाथ में था, तो कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेशन हमने की. तो उस टाइम में भी करीब 2 महीने हम लोग यही डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि इसके प्रोज एंड कॉन्स क्या होते हैं, कि ऐसा ना हो कि हम लोग कंपनी तो इनकॉर्पोरेट करें और किसी से सुना था हमने कि जिसके नाम पे कंपनी होती है उसको कभी जॉब नहीं मिलता. तो फिर ये भी एक टेंशन था. फिर हम लोगों ने फाइनल ऐसे अभी इंजीनियरिंग है तो हम लोग कहीं ना कहीं से एक लूप होल निकाल लेते हैं. तो हमने लूप होल निकाला कि हम क्या करेंगे, 1 साल के बाद कंपनी नहीं चली तो कंपनी बंद कर देंगे और खुद के नाम पे एक एक्सपीरियंस लेटर लिख देंगे 1 साल का, तो अब तो हमको कोई भी जॉब दे देगा. तो ऐसा एक उस इंटेंशन से सब स्टार्ट हुआ. फिर अभी एक्चुअली हमारी जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई, क्योंकि इस टाइम तक हम लोगों के पास इंक्यूबेशन नहीं था, कोई बिजनेस मेंटर नहीं थे. जो भी थे कॉलेज के स्टाफ, कॉलेज के ही दोस्त. एंड लेकिन हम लोगों ने हाँ कंपनी कैसी होती है ये देख के आए थे. बाहर जब मद्रास गए या पीसीएमसी में भी बहुत सारी कंपनीज है, उसमें से ऑटो क्लस्टर का नाम मैं जरूर लूंगा. तो वहां पे जाने के बाद लगा कि यार हमारी भी ऐसी कंपनी होनी चाहिए जिससे हम ऑफिस में बैठे जो चाहिए वो कर सकते हैं, कोई डिस्टर्ब नहीं करता बाहर से आके. तो उस टाइम ये सब चालू हुआ. तो जब कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेशन किया तो फर्स्ट सवाल आया, अब क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर हमारे साथ स्टार्ट हुआ. पहला क्वेश्चन था कि तुम्हारा प्रोडक्ट क्या है. फिर अभी प्रोडक्ट कहे तो हम लोगों के पास तो 7 प्रोजेक्ट थे, लेकिन हाँ हमको भी पता था कि वो कॉलेज प्रोजेक्ट है, वो इमिडिएटली अगर हम लोग मार्केट में ले जाएंगे तो कोई उसको खरीदेगा नहीं. तो फिर हम लोगों ने सोचा कि हम लोग एक काम करेंगे, हम लोग ड्रोन की फ्रेम बनाएंगे और फ्रेम बेचेंगे जिससे हमें पैसे आ जाएंगे. एंड फ्रेम से हम लोगों ने स्टार्ट किया. फिर एक फ्रेम हमने 3D प्रिंट की. उसका यूएसपी ये था कि उसके ऊपर आप मतलब एक रेड एंड व्हाइट कलर के आपने ड्रोन्स में फ्रेम देखी होगी, तो वो कॉलेज प्रोजेक्ट में वही यूज होती है. तो उसका हम लोगों ने एक हायर वर्जन निकाला था कि 13 इंच तक के प्रोपेलर उसमें लग सकते हैं, तो आप बड़ा ड्रोन कॉलेज में एज अ प्रोजेक्ट उसमें कर सकते हो. एंड ये हमने बनाया, लेकिन ये हमारा प्रोडक्ट फ्लॉप हो चुका क्योंकि ये बिका ही नहीं फ्रेम, किसी ने लिया ही नहीं वो. देन हम लोगों ने सोचा एक काम करते हैं, अभी ये पार्ट वगैरह नहीं बनाते हैं, हम लोग डायरेक्ट ड्रोन बनाते हैं. तो फिर हमने सोचा कि हम लोग एक सबसे छोटा ड्रोन बनाएंगे जो DJI मैविक जो मिनी है उस टाइप का जो ड्रोन है उसका अल्टरनेटिव होगा. तो अगेन हमारी जो थॉट प्रोसेस थी वो ऐसी थी कि हम लोग दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी कंपनी का जो एक प्रोडक्ट है उसका हम लोग अल्टरनेटिव निकालेंगे. तो अगेन हम लोगों ने वो प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट किया. लेकिन हाँ जब उसके डेवलपमेंट हम लोग करते गए तो हमको एक्चुअल में प्रॉब्लम फेस हुई. प्रॉब्लम ये थी कि लाइक तुम्हारे पास स्किल मैन पावर होनी चाहिए. कि हम इनिशियली हमारे पास प्रोग्रामिंग में एक्सपर्ट कोई नहीं था. देन डिजाइन जो होती है वो ऑप्टिमाइज करनी होती है इंजीनियरिंग के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से. तो ये सारी चीजें हम लोग फिर टीम ऐड करते गए, हम बहुत सारे आइट्रेशन करते गए. देन हमारा ड्रोन रेडी हुआ, बट उसमें उस लेवल का कैमरा इंटीग्रेशन नहीं हुआ जो DJI के ड्रोन में. तो फिर हम लोगों ने उसको एज ए FPV ड्रोन रख दिया. तो अभी हम लोगों ने थोड़ा इस टाइम थोड़ा अभी अराउंड 8 to 9 मंथ्स हो चुके थे कंपनी चालू होके. लेकिन एक अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बाहर नहीं आया था। तो हम लोगों ने सोचा कि यार एक काम करते हैं कि जो ऑलरेडी हम लोगों ने ड्रोन बनाए थे प्रोजेक्ट के टाइम, उस सेगमेंट का कुछ करते हैं। तो हम लोगों ने CS माम्बा करके एक ड्रोन है, वो थोड़ा बड़ा ड्रोन है कि लाइक ऑल ऑफ इट इज 5 kg। तो वो हम लोगों ने ड्रोन बना दिया, वो ड्रोन बना दिया। एंड लकीली एक हमारा जो मिहिर ने कहा कि एक टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया ने इंटरव्यू हमारा प्रिंट किया था उनके पेपर में। एंड लकीली चिंचवड़ की एक कंपनी ने वो आर्टिकल पढ़ा था और उन्होंने हमें कॉल किया ड्यूरिंग द सेकेंड लॉकडाउन कि मुझे एक ऐसा ड्रोन बनाना है जो कि हमारी फैक्ट्री जो है वो क्लीन करे, कि जो डस्ट एंड कॉबवेव्स है उसे क्लीन करने हो। अभी ये तो हमारे लिए नया सेगमेंट था, लेकिन स्टार्टअप में होता है कि क्लाइंट को कभी ना नहीं कहना होता है। तो हमने बोला सर हम बना देंगे। फिर उन्होंने बुलाया, फिर बजट सैंक्शन हुआ, सब कुछ हो गया और हमारे हाथ में वो फर्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट आ गया। और मुझे याद है कि पाड़वा था और पाड़वा के दिन उन्होंने हमको एडवांस पेमेंट दिया था। एंड उस टाइम लॉकडाउन लग गया था सेकेंड, एंड डिलीवरी टाइम कुछ तो 2 से 3 महीने में उनको डिलीवरी था हमको। देन हम लोगों ने ड्रोन डिजाइन करना स्टार्ट किया। अभी जब हम लोगों ने अभी तक जो ड्रोन बनाए थे उसका मैक्सिमम जो डायगोनल था वो 1 मीटर का था। अभी ये बना हेक्साकॉप्टर, मतलब जिसको 6 रोटर होते हैं, उसके ऊपर हमको कुछ एक्सपीरियंस नहीं था। और हम लोगों ने ड्राइंग करना चालू किया कि एक इमेजिन करते हैं कि इसका साइज कितना होगा। तो हमारे वो पेपर में फिट नहीं हुआ, तो हम लोगों ने जो टाइल्स होती है उसके ऊपर ड्रॉ किया। और जब टाइल्स पे ड्रॉ हुआ तो हमको समझा बाप रे ये तो बहुत बड़ा बनेगा। देन मतलब इस तरीके से हमारा स्टार्टिंग था कि इनिशियल ऐसा कुछ हम बड़ा एक्सपीरियंस लेके नहीं आए थे, लेकिन हाँ फिर हम लोगों ने भी वो ड्रोन बनाया सक्सेसफुली। वो फर्स्ट फ्लाइट में ही भी अच्छे से फ्लाई हुआ। उस प्रोजेक्ट से हमें एक लर्निंग आई कि हम लोग कस्टमाइज कुछ भी बना सकते हैं, मतलब ड्रोन्स में कुछ भी। तो देन एक कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्टअप हुआ। थोड़ा हमारे दिमाग में आया था कि टेंडरिंग कैसे होता है, तो टेंडर का नाम सुना था। फिर हम लोग अलग अलग टेंडर सर्च करने लगे। देन बिहार गवर्नमेंट का उस टाइम एक टेंडर निकला था, हम लोगों ने वहां पे अप्लाई किया। तो फर्स्ट टाइम तो हमारे साथ वो सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ, लेकिन जब सेकंड टाइम उनका फ्लोट हुआ तो उस टाइम हम लोग सिलेक्ट हुए। तो इस जर्नी में ऐसा था कि ये एक हो गया ये वन साइड कि ये क्लाइंट कैसे आते गए वन बाय वन, वन बाय वन, वन बाय। एंड सेकंड एक उसका ये था कि हम लोग अलग अलग जगह पे इंक्यूबेट हुए थे। हम लोग PCSIC के इंक्यूबेट रह चुके हैं, हम भाव के इंक्यूबेटी, हम AIC MIT के इंक्यूबेटी है। तो एज अ स्टार्टअप जहां से जितना मिले वो लेना चाहिए। तो ये भी एक लर्निंग है। एंड सबसे बड़ी लर्निंग मैं कहूंगा कि हम लोग अगर जैसे सर ने कहा कि कम एज में अगर स्टार्ट कर पाए तो एक फ्री एडवाइस है मैं सबको दे रहा हूँ स्टूडेंट को, जिसको भी स्टार्टअप स्टार्ट करना है बेस्ट है कि आप कॉलेज से स्टार्ट करो। बिकॉज इनिशियल जो भी लगता है, आपको जगह चाहिए, आपको सीड फंड चाहिए, आपको बेसिक मेंटरिंग चाहिए और स्ट्रेस नहीं चाहिए ज्यादा। तो आप कॉलेज में जब हो लास्ट ईयर में तभी इनकॉर्पोरेशन करो, आपके ऑलमोस्ट 20-30% प्रॉब्लम सारे वहां पे ही सॉल्व हो जाएंगे। यही अगर आप पास आउट होने की बात करते हो तो मे बी उतना रिसोर्सेस उतना सपोर्ट आपको नहीं मिलेगा। बिकॉज मतलब ये हमको तो मिला है एंड उस एक्सपीरियंस पे हम लोग कह रहे हैं। देन आते हैं लर्निंग के ऊपर। जब हम लोग अभी है कि चलो कॉलेज ने सपोर्ट किया, हमारे मेंटर्स ने, लेकिन जब हम इंक्यूबेशन के सेंटर के पास चले गए तो उस टाइम जिस कॉलेज में हम थे उस टाइम हमारे पास इंक्यूबेशन नहीं था, तो अलग अलग कॉलेजेस में हम जाते थे। तो वहां पे थोड़ा हम लोगों को प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन पूछने लगे, तुम्हारा रेवेन्यू मॉडल क्या है, तुम्हारा बिजनेस मॉडल क्या है। तो ये जैसे ही दिन भर हमें कोई पूछता था, शाम को आके हम लोग सर्च करते थे व्हाट इज बिजनेस मॉडल, रेवेन्यू मॉडल कैसे बनाया जाता है, उसका टेम्पलेट क्या होता है। मतलब ये इस स्टेजेस में हम लोगों ने पूरा वो सीखा है। फिर हाँ हम लोग कुछ रात को करते थे, दूसरे दिन अगेन उस मेंटर के पास जाना, उनको दिखाना सर ये किया है। फिर वो देख के उनके एक्सप्रेशन से ही हमको पता चलता था कि यार कुछ तो इसमें गलत हुआ है। तो वापस उसको आइट्रेशन करो। तो कुछ हमारे ऑलमोस्ट एक इनिशियल 15-20 पिच डेक के ड्राफ्ट हुए थे। मतलब आज भी हम लोग जो पिच डेक बनाते हैं ईच मीटिंग के बाद वो चेंज होता है। सो इस तरीके से वो ट्रायल एंड एरर जो है वो स्टार्टअप में चलता ही रहता है। सो सबसे बड़ा एक टर्निंग पॉइंट था जब हम लोगों को डिफेंस से प्रोजेक्ट मिला, बिहार से प्रोजेक्ट मिला। तो वो हम लोगों ने जब बड़े ड्रोन बनाए, लाइक एक था कि हम लोग कॉलेज ऑफ मिलिट्री इंजीनियरिंग गए थे कि हमको ऐसा ऐसा ड्रोन बनाना है। और वहां पे एक ड्रोन रखा हुआ था कि जो मतलब जितना बड़ा था वो वैसे हमको बनाना है। तो एज ए इंजीनियर हम गए थे। जब वो वहाँ के कर्नल उस लैब के बाहर गए, मतलब वो ड्रोन देख के हम भी खुश हो गए थे, इतना बड़ा ड्रोन हमने भी पहले ही देखा था। लेकिन हाँ कॉन्फिडेंस इतना था कि हम लोग इसको भी बना देंगे। सो इस तरीके से वो सब लर्निंग हमारा रहा। इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर से बहुत हेल्प होती है, सो एज अ स्टूडेंट वो आप डेफिनेटली लेना। सो ये कुछ पॉइंट्स थे जो मैं कहूँगा कि इस जर्नी में आपको एज अ लर्निंग आप ये ले लो। देन अभी जैसे कंपनी ग्रो होती है धीरे धीरे, फिर लीगल ये सब चीजें आती है, तो उस टाइम अलग अलग लोग होते हैं। जैसे अभी रवि भारद्वाज सर खुद ही हमारा पूरा लीगल प्रोसेस संभाल रहे लास्ट 2 ईयर से। देन वो सब चीजें अपने आप आती है। लेकिन हाँ, डे वन पे आप ये सोचोगे कि यार एक स्टार्टअप को क्या लगता है, पहले तो लीगल टीम लगती है, वो हमारे पास कभी रहती नहीं। देन हमको कुछ बिजनेस मेंटर लगता है, तो वो भी नहीं रहते। तो ये सब जो होता है, जो नहीं होता है, वो बाद में आ जाता है। बस हाँ, एज अ एंटरप्रेन्योर आपको वो दिमाग में रखना चाहिए कि बाद में धीरे धीरे आ जाएगा। अभी मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, मैं कुछ छोटा स्टेप उठा सकता हूँ, मैं प्रोटोटाइप का कुछ एमवीपी कर सकता हूँ। एमवीपी का अगर है आपके पास, तो कुछ प्रोडक्ट डिस्प्ले करो किसी को, 4 लोगों को दिखाओगे, 3 लोग उसको बुरा कहेंगे, लेकिन वही जो बुरे पॉइंट है वही आपको वो प्लस यूएसपी हो जाएंगे उस प्रोडक्ट के। सो ये ओवरऑल मैं कहूँगा अबाउट आर जर्नी। एंड जैसे मिहिर ने कहा ये पूरा कि स्टार्ट से कैसे हुआ, लेकिन हाँ, जो भी ये सब हुआ वो आपको बोर ना हो इसलिए मैंने कुछ एग्जाम्पल दिए थे। बट हाँ, कुछ ऐसे होते हैं कि एज अ एंटरप्रेन्योर वो तुम्हारे दिमाग में डे वन से ही चाहिए, चलना चाहिए कि मुझे कुछ अलग करना है। तभी वो चीजें आती है, तभी वो प्रोजेक्ट बनते हैं। क्योंकि इस जर्नी में ऐसा है कि आप बहुत बार फ्रस्ट्रेट होते हो कि सब कुछ अच्छा है, लेकिन फिर भी आप फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हो एज अ फाउंडर। तो वो बाकी लोगों को पता नहीं होता कि ये क्यों परेशान है। उनको तो अच्छा अच्छा ही दिखता है, बट वही है कि वो सब स्ट्रेस हैंडल करने के लिए वो आपके अंदर चाहिए कि मुझे कुछ नया करना है, ये मेरा प्रोडक्ट इस मार्केट में लॉन्च करना है या सर्विस जो भी हो। इस तरीके से आप आगे बढ़ो। एंड शुक्ला सर है ही जिन्होंने हमको भी बहुत सारी मेंटरिंग की है, वो आपके साथ भी एसोसिएट है। एंड शुक्ला सर को जो रूट प्रॉब्लम होती है स्टार्टअप की, आई थिंक उनसे अच्छा कोई दूसरा समझ नहीं पाएगा वो। यस, सो दिस इज फ्रॉम माय साइड। थैंक यू सर फॉर दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी।
Thank you so much. If at all I unmute all of them would have been clapping for you and applauding your journeys also. Because what was
Why don't you
expected.
do that, Mr. Shukla? Unmute all of them, let all of them clap.
Sure. But I just host as a host. Just a minute.
Listen to
Just if those who can unmute and just appreciate that journey, who took an effort to explain from the scratch student to end. Can anyone unmute and please applaud the startup? Wonderful. Great. So this was so essential for me to introduce them because Mihir and Ganesh been the student of JSPM University and JSPM College. And they have been allotted, the college has allotted some 4,000 to 2,000 square feet of an area of his own in the own college for them to work for the startup. Just imagine the college offering them a space to have their offices. Their office is JSPM College actually. So if you want to do it, no one can stop you. It's only an excuse which I think that नहीं हुआ उसका। अगर कोशिश करोगे तो फिर जरूर कामयाब होंगे, वो श्योर है। और जितनी शिद्दत से तुम उस चीज को पाने की कोशिश करोगे ना, ऐसे ही पूरी कायनात तुम्हें उसको मिलाने की साजिश करेगी। So this is very important for all to understand the students that if you want to do it, no one can stop you. Rest all are the excuses. Remember. Thank you so much to all the speaker, Mr. Ganesh and Mr. Mihir. Along with it, also Rishikesh. Mr. Rishikesh has been so active with them. He has been. If you listen to him also, you get mesmerized by following the journey. Also, Mr. Rishikesh. Thank you so much, Cerebrospark Innovations. Now we have our next speaker. Now see, I started my journey of a startup explaining to you, starting with company formation by CA, Mr. Amit. It's most important part. to form a company first. As also mentioned as by the experienced Mr. Ganesh, also form a company. People will take you seriously. Form a private limited firm. In the future, if you are having any engagement, a bigger engagement, whatever you see in the Shark Tanks, they have an equity agreements of it. 1 lakh rupee versus 1% equity. So those all means of it can only be possible with a private limited firm. So it's very essential to form that kind of company only. Even though the startups been 3 entities accept karti hai to be a startup, but most important is a private limited firm itself. After then, I gave you the support of Oro Innovations. Eventually now, the second most apart from important part is the legal contracts, because we are not talking to the students, we are talking to the companies. Embarking on a business venture is both thrilling and fulfilling. The process of bringing your vision to the life and establishing a brand and offering a valuable services is immensely gratifying. However, this journey also entails significant responsibilities. As an entrepreneur, it is essential to ensure that your startup is well prepared for the success, which includes addressing the legal aspect of your businesses. While a legal consideration can appear the complex, they are the fundamentals to your company's prosperity and sustainability. These are not my words. These are Mr. Ravi Bhardwaj sir's words, which I took them from the LinkedIn, from his own page. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shukla ji. It was wonderful hearing Mihir and Ganesh. As you know, I've been consulting them for last 2 years in their journey, and I have personally also witnessed how they have developed from anything to everything, and they have been very appreciative of you as your mentor. And I also, I must also, acknowledge publicly that when I was rebuilding my firm, StartupLegal, Mr. Shukla was quite very supportive of that entire rebuilding that I did, and in a sense, he's also my mentor. I always tell him that बहुत लोग support का कोई definition नहीं होता है. Even sometimes mental support, sometimes emotional support. Every support matters, because when you are doing a mentoring, the mentoring is of different nature. So, as I said, when I was building the StartupLegal some 2 years back, the support with Mr. Shukla was also very, very important for me. Now, I can, I have a lot of PPTs I can share with all of you, what I thought today, which I will try to share with you all. Shukla ji, I have been disabled. I cannot share my screen. Anyway, by the time that he enables me to share the screen, I'm still disabled. So basically, as you grow, as you establish yourself, it is very, very important. And I always say that, you should have a very effective and very hand-holding legal guidance. क्योंकि क्या होता है बहुत बार, we just do things in enthusiasm, we just do things in anticipation, and we do things in anxiety. So there are all three human elements which happen, because we feel कि यार चलो पैसा आने दो ना, let us sign anything that we want. But then what happens, as and when you develop, as and when you grow, those, decisions taken in anxiety, impulse, anticipation, sometimes, makes, you are sharing my screen, sir? You are sharing my PPT, Shukla, sir?
Yes, I am sharing a PPT. Are you able to see the screen, right?
I am able to see, but then you'll have to keep flipping through my slides. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Then you do it, sir.
Then if you allow me to do it, then I'll be obliged.
Sure, sir. Okay.
So, all those actions that we do in anticipation, in anxiety, I don't blame startup at that stage, because I'm still disabled for some reason. Because, they want to grow, and sometimes they want to grow fast. But in the anxiety to grow fast, they do certain mistakes, and that mistakes tend to cripple their growth and their prosperity. And that is why I always say that, and its entire world of, web is there. Web has many other connotations also other than World Wide Web. So they go to internet, they find things, and they, some online formats of NDA, of, confidentiality agreement, of employment letter, and they just try to, build a kind of a document out of it and they share. Now, what happens, my friends, in that is, those are not customized to your needs. Those online formats which are available are not customized to your needs, and that may actually, I'm still disabled, Mr. Shukla. Anyway, I'll carry forward as whatever I prepared. And Mihir said one thing very, Ganesh also said one thing very, very important. Startups के लिए कि जहां से जितना मिल रहा है उतना लेते जाओ. It's very important that whatever knowledge that you are getting from anywhere, keep taking that knowledge. But ultimately, how to apply that knowledge and how to implement that knowledge has to be your decision. I'm still disabled. Anyway, you can have this here. You can go to the next slide, Mrudang bhai.
Yes. Please keep on saying that, because I don't know what is the reason you are disabled.
This is what we do basically. We have a spectrum of services. We handle company registration, which I think my colleague Mr. Padi also explained in great detail and with great acumen. Then we try to handle the compliance part. आप जब company बनाते हैं, then आपको GST है, GST return है, income tax return है. All those things are there. Your annual returns are there. Your meetings have to happen. If you are taking investment, then special resolutions have to be passed. So they're all part of compliance is there. Contract, I'll deal in detail. You need to have a proper supplier contract, vendor contract, employee contract. So अलग-अलग type के contracts है जो आपको लगेंगे. Then obviously intellectual property is the most important thing, because that is the most valuable creation that you do. Your tech, your software, your trademark, your copyright. Because today, you make something and it is very easy to make a copy out of it. So how do you protect your proprietary products, proprietary services? That is what you do by intellectual property, and we tend to support startups in that. Then you also help in fundraising. Money is the biggest motivation, perhaps. If money is in the center, we all fly, we all run, we all walk. Without money, it's very difficult to move forward. So वो शुक्ला जी वो स्लाइड चला गया. Yeah. So, fundraising, we also help him. What happens in fundraising, why it is very, very important to take legal advice. And I have my colleague next coming and speaking from Naman Angels. There are many rights which investors seek, when they are investing in you. And, possibly as an investor, obviously, he wants to have more rights, in terms of your operations, in terms of your day-to-day functioning. Then, what kind of, negotiation you can do in terms, to keep ensure that कंट्रोल कंपनी का आपके पास बना रहे. तो वो सब जानने के लिए फंड रेजिंग उस समय कौन सा डॉक्यूमेंट इश्यूट करना है, अलग अलग मेथड ऑफ इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स होते हैं इन्वेस्टमेंट के. जब सीड इंडिया फंड से आप जब इन्वेस्टमेंट लेते हैं, देन वी डू सीसीडी. प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टर से लेते हैं तो हम लोग शेयर सब्सक्रिप्शन करते हैं, प्रेफरेंस शेयर करते हैं. तो फंड रेजिंग में भी हम कंपनी मदद करते हैं. दैट बेसिकली इज द नेचर ऑफ मर्जर एंड एक्विजिशन. देन पॉलिसीज बनते हैं. जैसे जैसे आप स्टार्टअप अपना ग्रो करते हैं, देन आपको कुछ स्टैट्यूटरी पॉलिसीज बनाने पड़ते हैं. जैसे पॉश पॉलिसी हो जाता है, लीव इज अ राइट, सो आपको लीव पॉलिसी बनाना पड़ता है. आप एक कंपनी में हाउ विल पीपल बिहेव और कंडक्ट देमसेल्फ, दे नीड टू हैव कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट. मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली, यू डील विथ लॉट ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन, लॉट ऑफ ट्रेड सीक्रेट्स. तो आपको एक कॉन्फिडेंशियल पॉलिसी बनानी पड़ती है. तो यू ऑल्सो हेल्प स्टार्टअप्स इन डूइंग दोज पॉलिसी. And lastly, as a lawyer, we thrive on disputes, we strive on disputes, we live on disputes. So अगर कोई dispute अगर होता है, तो how to resolve that dispute, that is also we help the startup. We can go to next slide, Shukla ji. It is gone. Anyway, so I'll continue myself. Yeah, we can go to next. So then I'll continue extempore, otherwise this is creating disturbance.
I understand there was a power leakage, power stopped. So
we go to next
Wi-Fi
slide.
chala gaya. Yeah,
We can go
this
to
one.
next one. Yeah, so we'll go here. So basically what we will trying to learn today together is, why is, legal advice necessary. So we can go to next, Mrudang bhai, because the time is less. You have allotted less time to me rather to a lawyer, huh? Not correct. So we'll go next. So why is contract important, friends? We should know that, why contract is very, very important. No. This is the previous one. No, previous one. The previous one. Yeah. So why is contract important, my dear friends? Contract is important because, see any contract.
Which one, sir?
No, you have to go down. Yeah, go down. Go down. Go down from here. No, you have gone much farther. Much farther. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll have my slide open, so it will be different. No, you're moving much faster, Mrudang.
Just a minute, I'll make you the anchor, the host, so that you can start sharing.
So
Sharon?
No, so let us continue because it's breaking the rhythm actually. So no, you can go to the next slide. Yes. So why do we need a contract? What happens? Again, sir, it's flipping. Just go to next slide, sir.
So the next one is this.
Just stop here. Don't do
anything.
Yeah. So why do we need a contract, friends? Because see, any relationship that we enter into, you go to a mobile shop, you buy a mobile, you take a flight, you do anything. That's a contract. In a very good sense, it is a contract. So why should we, many times we just tend to take up a call and say, oh, yeah, ye kar do. We tend to send a SMS, So therefore, it should be very, very important because what happens when you get into business, there are certain timelines that we have to adhere to. Because your timelines are commitment to somebody else. There are certain specifications that ये ऐसे जैसे कि अब मिहिर और गणेश जी का है कि ये ड्रोन बनाना है तो ये ड्रोन का कुछ स्पेसिफिकेशंस होते हैं कि इसका हाइट वेट ये सब होना चाहिए. So if you enter into a contract, you can specify the timelines, you can specify the quality controls, you can specify the specifications, and most importantly, you will also specify कि अगर ये time से नहीं होता है, then क्या? What will be the consequences? So all those things, friends, you can't keep keep it oral. Therefore, you need a contract where all these different aspects and different features of a relationship can be incorporated, and that incorporation basically is a contract. Now, what is the benefit? The benefit is that if everything is crystal clear in a document, then the relationship is very smooth because you know what is your right, you know what is your obligation, and if a particular event happens, then you know that your money will be paid. If that event is not happening, then other money will not be paid to you. So it ensures that the relationship does not become sour. If there is a complete clarity in my rights, my obligations, my duties, then there is no difficulty in any understanding. Therefore, contract is very, very important to ensure that your risk is less. So there is a clarity in the terms and conditions. And when there is a clarity in terms and conditions, then the relationship is very, very good. We can go to the next slide. We can go to next, sir. Yeah. Now, what are the contract के लिए कुछ essentials, law में कुछ essentials बहुत important हो. You have jumped it. Anyway,
sir, I'm stick to one slide. This capacity to contract and legality
you have to
of
go to
terms.
previous one. You have missed one slide in between, actually.
I am just a minute, sir. This one, sir, essential components of the contract.
Just wait here. Just wait here.
Right.
So when we enter into a contract, then एक बोलचाल की भाषा में agreement एक चीज होती है, but then there are under the law there are certain stages. Now what are that stage? First stage is an offer. It's like जैसे आप एक pitch deck बनाते हैं, then your pitch deck is kind of an offer to the the investor or to the incubator or to any person. So you have to give an offer. Now that offer may be accepted in totality as you have submitted, or it may come with a modification. So the investor or the incubator or your co-founder has to accept it. So there's an offer and there's an acceptance and there's a consideration. So this, if these three elements are not there, then even if you have entered into an understanding, then it is not a contract. Please understand it very, very clearly. One has to be offer and one has to be acceptance. And then, now consideration can be multiple things. Consideration can be money. So you are making a software for me, the money that I pay to you is a consideration. Now you are making a software for me, I will give you services for next 5 years. So giving services is also a consideration. So consideration का जो अर्थ है जिसको हम मराठी में मुबदला बोलते हैं या पैसा बोलते हैं, it is it can take any form and shape. It need not only be money. Please keep it in mind. The consideration for a contract need not only be for money. So it is very important, but there should be some consideration. There has to be some quid pro quo, as we say in law. अगर मैं आपके लिए ये काम कर रहा हूं तो मुझे क्या मिल रहा है? That is the question that the contract has to answer. And if that contract is answering that thing, मैं आपके लिए क्या कर रहा हूं, मुझे ये मिल रहा है, that is a valid contract. If the person serving you is not getting anything back, please remember, friends, that is not a contract under the law. And even if it does any mistake, even if he falters, then you will not be able to pull him up. So please ensure that a contract has certain element of consideration. क्योंकि अगर वो consideration नहीं होगा तो वो contract नहीं होगा. It will be only be an understanding. And for any fault, for any defect that he will do, you will not be able to hold him up. So this is very, very important. So therefore, please, when you are signing a contract, ensure that these three elements are there. Next, Shukla sir. हाँ, just wait. Yes. Now capacity to contract. जैसे हम कंपनीज के बिहाफ पे साइन करते हैं, आप लोग कंपनी यहाँ पे कंपनी बनाते हैं, कंपनी जहाँ पे आप साइन करते हैं, तो प्लीज एंश्योर दैट द पर्सन साइनिंग द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज अ पर्सन इज ऑथराइज्ड टू साइन द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. नहीं तो क्या होगा, टुमारो यू साइन अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट and if you don't verify that the person signing the contract is not authorized, then in that case company will say this contract is not binding on me. Then your contract will become void as against that particular company. It may still be enforceable as against that particular individual. But if the person signing the contract, friends, does not have the requisite authority, उसके पास अगर अधिकार नहीं है वो डॉक्यूमेंट साइन करने का, और अगर वो साइन कर देता है, then company can come out of it very easily. So you please keep it in mind that when you are signing a contract, then that person should have authority to sign the contract. Next. Next, sir. नहीं आया.
हॉटस्पॉट राइट नाउ, क्योंकि यहाँ पे लाइट गई थी तो इसलिए हॉटस्पॉट पे हूँ, तो थोड़ा लेगेसी आ रही है. ये बरोबर वर्सेस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट व्हाट्स बाइंडिंग.
Yeah. हाँ.
Are you able to
Many
see
times,
screen, sir?
friends, I explained to you that many times we just take a phone call and we say that please हमारे लिए काम कर दो. Answer is that even that can be binding. Even an oral contract under the law is binding, but then it does not bring a lot of clarity in the terms of relationship. So it is like it becomes me versus you. You will say that no, I told you this. Other person, no, I heard this. मैंने ये सुना था, आपने ये नहीं बोला था. तो sometimes क्या होता है, oral contract, even though binding, it does not give you that much of clarity that what exactly are the terms of understanding. Now, I must also explain it to you that certain contracts cannot be done orally. Like अगर आप मान लीजिए ऑफिस अपना रेंट, startup is going and taking an office on rent, please enter into a written contract which is called as leave and license agreement. In such cases, oral contracts are not permissible. So जैसे हम सेल डीड करते हैं, हम लीव लाइसेंस रेंट एग्रीमेंट करते हैं, then it is important that it is done in written. So next one.
is it changed? Forms of contract, what's binding?
It's not yet changed. It may be changing
Just
because you're on hotspot.
I'm actually changing. Okay, I'm on a hotspot actually right now. That's why. Just a minute, sir.
I'll share this. You can share this PPT with all our people who are in audience so that if there's any query, they can come back. Yeah. So many times, friends, a question arises. मेरे बहुत सारे स्टार्टअप्स हमसे पूछते हैं कि सर मैंने ईमेल पे ये भेजा है, इज दैट अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट? हमने व्हाट्सएप पे भेजा है, इज दैट अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट? हमने एसएमएस से भेजा, इज दैट अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट? तो लेट मी टेल यू ऑल ऑफ यू फ्रेंड्स वेरी ऑनेस्टली that contract does not need a particular form. It's gone, Mr. Shukla. Anyway, I'll continue. Contract does not need a particular form. Contract के लिए stamping जरूरी नहीं है. Contract के लिए notarization जरूरी नहीं है. Those three elements are important. One is that is offer, one that is acceptance, and one that is consideration. So even if suppose it is the next slide. तो सपोज मान लीजिए आपने ईमेल पे किसी को अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर भेजा, ठीक है, और कोई ईमेल पे उसको एक्सेप्ट करता है, देन ऑल्सो इट बिकम्स अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. आपने व्हाट्सएप पे भी भेजा, अगर नो इज द प्रीवियस स्लाइड, देन ऑल्सो इट बिकम्स अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. सो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट डज नॉट रिक्वायर एनी पर्टिकुलर फॉर्मेट. इट हैज टू बी डन कंसिडरिंग three elements: offer, acceptance, and consideration. If these three elements, my dear friends, if it is present in any communication, SMS, email, WhatsApp, whatever, then it will come or it will be treated as law as a contract. Many times, friends, we have standard form contracts. आप जैसे होटल में जाते हैं तो उनका जब इनवॉइस आता है, या आप किसी मोबाइल शॉप पे जाते हैं जो उनका इनवॉइस आता है, तो दैट्स उसमें कोई अलग से टाइपिंग नहीं होती उस समय. और यू गो टू सम लेट्स से गूगल और याहू, और देन यू हैव टू ओपन योर ईमेल आईडी, then there's a standard terms and conditions come, which will just tick and you say I agree. So those are basically standard form contracts. Standard form contracts भी उतने ही बाइंडिंग होते हैं जितने रिटन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स बाइंडिंग होते हैं. देन बहुत बार लोग पूछते हैं कि सर ये डिजिटली साइंड है, इज इट अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट? देन फ्रेंड्स, आफ्टर द आईटी एक्ट 2000 एंड लेटर डेवलपमेंट which has happened, then a contract, we have DocuSign, we have Zoho Docs. तो Zoho Docs या DocuSign, ये सब से भी अगर आप कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अगर करते हैं, डिजिटली साइन करते हैं, तो वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट भी आपका बाइंडिंग होता है. तो ऑल दो चीज यू नीड टू रिमेंबर. नेक्स्ट सर. Now this is the most important contract, friends. I say that, see, क्या होता है, आपके पास एक आइडिया होता है, then you share that idea with somebody, and then somebody becomes like, we have Ganesh and me together, then they are co-founders. So it is, moment you start working with any other person, please always make a point, please ensure that both of you have entered into a certain kind of relationship which is contractual and which is written. What happens is, otherwise, you see, somebody is good at technology, somebody is good at sales, somebody may be good at something else. So, you should be able to define what are the different roles and responsibilities of a particular individual. Because see, if you don't define it, somebody may feel कि यार मैं ज्यादा काम कर रहा हूँ, वो कम काम कर रहा है, मेरे कारण कंपनी आगे बढ़ रही है, वो बैठ के ऐश कर रहा है. So all those feelings, see, these are all basic human feelings which come. These are basic human elements. Therefore, it is very, very important that you enter into a co-founder agreement and you define everybody's roles and responsibilities. Now, why it all becomes very, very important, my dear friends, is many times people get differences. उनके differences हो जाते हैं काम करने. They may be very good friends, but they're not very good working partners. So, he said, नहीं, मैं अब काम नहीं करूंगा. I am leaving the company and I'll go and start my own. Going start on my own is not a problem. Starting on my own and starting the same business becomes a problem. Therefore, co-founder agreement also provides for non-compete clauses. That's ठीक है. You are going ahead, go, but you will not start the same. You will not start the same business for next 2 years, for next 3 years, or in the particular geography. So that co-founder agreement helps you to ensure that what you all have discussed together continues further without any competition from the person who was earlier with you. So that is where the co-founder becomes very, very important. And it also happens that two of you are together, somebody comes in and he says that no, I'm leaving. तो क्या होता है शुरू में 50-50% शेयर होल्डिंग रहता है हम लोगों का. Then the person says, I'm leaving. Now, when he is leaving, friend, he may leave with that entire 50% shareholding. That may become very detrimental to the company and to the co-founder who is continuing with the idea. Therefore, you should so that co-founder friends help you all to ensure that if the person is making a premature exit, leaving you all in between, then you should not get a huge chunk of share. Because otherwise, he may not be in the company, but he's going to enjoy all the benefits, because as a shareholder, he gets the right to dividend, he gets right to appreciation in the investment, even though not being in the company, and not working for the company. Therefore, please ensure that, the vesting schedule jo hota hai, suppose it is 50-50, then in the first year, you vest, let's say 10%. In the second year, let's say you vest 20%. So there has to be a gradual vesting schedule in the co-founders agreement. So this is very, very important, and therefore it is important for all the startups to start working together. They should have, this thing. Now, while I'm on the issue of co-founder, I must also advise you all one thing. That whenever you started sharing your idea with anybody, please have a proper non-disclosure agreement with anybody that you share idea with, because your idea can be copied at any point of time with anybody. So if you have not signed a non-disclosure agreement, then in that case, your idea is vulnerable, and other person is not, there's no check on the other person to disclose your idea with somebody else. So it is very, very important that you also enter into a proper non-disclosure agreement. Next, sir. Now, as and when we start growing, then we enter into vendor contracts. Now, why are vendor contracts important? Because आप अगर किसी से सामान खरीद रहे हैं, then in that case, you need that good should be of a particular quality. It should be a particular specification. It should follow a particular timeline. There are milestones, because your commitment to some third person or your own milestone, your own timeline is based on somebody supplying you something. Now, if that person fails in his timelines, in quality and specifications, then either your own milestone gets hampered or your commitment to that third person gets hampered. Therefore, it is very, very important that when you are entering into vendor contract, service provider contract, supplier contract, then you should pinpoint all these things. And it will also help you to make the payment clear, that fine, at this stage I'll pay you this much, at this stage I'll pay you that much. And it also says that if you don't do this, I'll not pay you that much. And not only that, I can claim some compensation from you. Therefore, it is very, very important that there is a proper vendor contract. And I was, when I was dealing with co-founder, I told you that whenever you are discussing anything with the vendor, it is very, very important that if you are discussing anything of your business plans, your ideas, your technical drawings, project architecture, then you should have a proper non-disclosure agreement with him. Otherwise, your secret, your architecture, your drawings, design, everything becomes vulnerable to be exposed to some third person. Therefore, the moment you start dealing with vendors and suppliers and service providers, please enter into an agreement. Next, sir. Now, as we grow, we start having people in our organization. We have interns, we have outsourced, we have freelancers. अलग अलग किस्म के लोग हम लोग के साथ काम करते हैं. तो जब इतने अलग अलग किस्म के लोग हम लोग के साथ काम करते हैं, तो फ्रेंड्स ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि उनके साथ हमारा एक अग्रीमेंट होना चाहिए, क्योंकि आदमी साथ आप बहुत सारी चीज शेयर करते हैं. उनकी सैलरी कितनी है, उनको आप बोनस मिलेगा कि नहीं, उनकी छुट्टी कितनी उनको देनी है. If all those things are not, many times I suggest that you should have kind of a chota mota, not big, some 2-3 page ka chota mota, HR manual you can have, so that how many leaves that person is entitled to. He has to work from 10 to 8, 8 to 5, whatever it is, working timings. Everything is mentioned there. Under what circumstances I can terminate you, because you share a lot of data with them. Suppose they have not behaved properly with an employee, or sorry, with a customer, or they have caused, you are saying something else, A, B, C, D, and that person goes to your, to a prospective customer, and he speaks X, Y, Z. So he's basically misrepresenting you. In a bid to pitch sales, sometimes what happens, we misrepresent. So, you should know that employment contract will enable you to define the conditions in which you can terminate those employments. Or, when you are sharing, many times we give them assets. हम उनको laptop देते हैं, mobile देते हैं, और या tablet देते हैं काम करने के लिए. So, those are your assets. So it becomes very important that the person is leaving the organization, then all those things should come back to you. Then what are the responsibilities? Suppose I am hiring a salesperson. Then I have to tell him that, today is 5, storerooms. By next month, I should have 10. So all those, milestones and all those responsibilities can be defined under a employment agreement. So basically, all this contract helps you to attain clarity in your relationship, as I mentioned earlier. And then, that relationship helps you to build a very strong foundation of making a good team together. Next. Many of you must be, tech-based startups. आप लोग बहुत लोग tech startups होंगे. Where, software becomes as a part of your service. So, in law, we call it a SaaS contract, service as a software contracts. And, when we deal with softwares, contracts and all that, then data privacy becomes very, very important because, under the new law which has come up and the rules are yet to be implemented, then you deal with a lot of names, email IDs, phone numbers, other personal information. So in source, while you enter into SaaS contracts, it enables you that you have proper data protocol. Then if there's a data breach, then what are the measures that other person will take to ensure that data breach is controlled or the damage at least is mitigated. Then what happens typically in a SaaS contract, when you do customization of software, many times what happens is we kind of make a base software, and then when we go up to pitch it up a client, then we do a lot of customization. Then who owns that customization? Who owns that customized software? So all those things basically come as a part of SaaS contracts, and they are all taken care of in that. If then अगर कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर में अगर गड़बड़ी हो जाती है, then we talk about a very common term in the SaaS ecosystem is called as escalation metrics. तो उसके escalation metrics जो define करते हैं कि that is how will be the response time and what is the level of response that I'll give you. Or suppose it's not workable, then a replacement will be given or no. Then what is the warranty? And if the replacement is given, to what extent it can be given. So all those things form part of something which we call as a SaaS contract. Next. Then service contract, friends, it is more or less very similar to the vendor contract which we discussed earlier. So I'll just skip it because I've been slotted only 40 minutes and I'm already done with half an hour I'm done. Then this is the most important thing that you all should know, that once you start growing, and then what are the and somebody comes and say that I want to invest in you, then what are the different instruments, what are the different contracts that you can enter into to attract investment? I think my friend who is from Naman Angel will deal with it much later. So in such contract, the first thing that we understand is compulsory convertible debentures are there. In that system, what happens, it typically works in an incubator scenario, that some funds are given, or from seed in fund scheme that funds come, आपके यहाँ पैसा कंपनी में वो पैसे डालते हैं, और that money remains invested with you for a certain term, and after that particular term, that debenture amount turns into your shareholding. So that is what is called as compulsorily CCD we call. There's something called as preference shares. Now the difference between preference shares and debentures क्या हो जाता है friends की, in CCD you may not get an interest because that becomes a charge. People do also take interest in that matter, but in preference shares there is a right to dividend. Suppose अगर कंपनी ने 100 रुपया कमाया है मान लीजिए, तो depending on the proportion of your shareholding you will get dividend, and ultimately after a certain point of time जो आपका प्रेफरेंस शेयर है वो कंपनी में इक्विटी बन जाती है, मतलब कंपनी का पर्टिकुलर जो भी आपके कैलकुलेशन के हिसाब से जितना आप होगा आप उतने परसेंटेज के मालिक बन जाइएगा. Then other than these two, there is a direct investment in the equity. सीधे लोग आपकी कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, जो इन्वेस्टर्स होते हैं, उसको हम लोग शेयर सब्सक्रिप्शन एग्रीमेंट बोलते हैं. That the person directly invests in the company and they hold equity. So that is basically called as share subscription agreement. So these are very, very important to understand that once you are investment ready, then what all instruments that you have to sign. Next. Now I'll deal certain, Shukla ji, how much time I have?
Sir, you can please take your time, sir.
Pardon?
Because we have been delayed. You can take your own time, sir, because it's our reason that in the start we got delayed due to some odd reasons.
Okay, take it.
Right?
Okay. Now what happens, friends, is, you know, typically when you enter into SaaS contract or you enter into, you know, vendor contract, this is a concept which we call as limitation of liability. And please listen very patiently. कि क्या होता है, suppose आपने किसी को there's an agreement in which there's a quid pro quo and there's a possibility of breach to happen, and depending on that breach, a certain liability will arise. You know, it may arise from the person seeking the service, it may arise from the person giving the service. Now that liability, friends, can be unlimited also as well, and that liability the law allows you to limit also as well. So depending on the side that you are in, if you are at a receiving end, then you can limit your liability. If you are not at the receiving end, if you feel that you will get more by the other person's breach possibly, then you cannot limit. Then you should not limit your you should not put limitation liability. So it's very, very important to understand that which side of the contract you are, and depending on which side of the contract you are, you have the right to limit your liability. Now, what is the benefit that you get? The benefit that I get by doing that limitation of liability is that, you know, suppose let us say that my and your contract is worth rupees, let's say 10 lakh rupees, but possibly the breach which may happen of anybody not complying with or fulfilling his, you know, terms and conditions, that breach may be, let's say, of 50 lakhs and let's say 1 crore. Then the limitation of liability, friends, will help you to limit the liability to even 10 lakhs only. That is the benefit that you get by putting limitation on liability. So you need to understand which side of the contract you are and whether limiting the liability will help you in a longer run. Because many times what happens is these clauses are not found in the online formats that you do, or possibly on a very basic contract that you, and that is why it becomes important. I don't feel that startup lawyers are very expensive. The startup lawyers are very affordable community. So, you consult a particular lawyer and try to ensure that your liability arising out of a breach, arising out of a non-fulfillment of certain terms and conditions does not expose you to a huge liability. Also, please ensure that you take proper insurance. Because I'll give you an example. Suppose there's a contract that you took to, let's say, deliver something to a client. You are a startup, there's a contract that happens, and you deliver something to the client. Now, आपने ट्रक में सामान डाल दिया and the truck is going to the customer side. आपने कस्टमर से पैसे ले लिए हैं. The truck unfortunately tumbles and आपका सारा सामान जो है सो गिर के खराब हो गया. अब कस्टमर तो बोले कि भैया मुझे मेरा पैसा चाहिए पूरा, मेरा सामान चाहिए, मैंने आपको पैसे पूरे दे दिए हैं. आपने इंश्योरेंस नहीं रखा है. Now what will you do in that circumstance? Other than leaking your own pocket, you have no option. Therefore, friends, please ensure that whenever you are into you are a startup where some products are a part of your service, and there's a possibility of a logistics issue, there's a possibility of a transportation which is open to certain risk, then please take the insurance of it. Many times nowadays people take employee insurance. किसी एम्प्लॉय ने किसी का डेटा ब्रीच कर दिया या किसी के साथ कुछ गलत व्यवहार कर दिया, then whatever liability which comes, then that company takes up that liability. So that is very, very important that you need to understand is that if you are exposed to certain monetary risk, in which a certain person can make a claim against you, a person can seek compensation from you, then please try to cover that risk by a proper insurance. Otherwise, it may be a huge dent. Because any money coming out of your ecosystem for no cause, please, I repeat it, any money going out of your ecosystem for no cause is a huge dent. And it's very, very important that जैसे हम hospital जाते हैं, unfortunately if somebody goes to hospital and किसी को सर्जरी करानी हो, किसी को करानी हो, आजकल कोई भी मिनिमम सर्जरी 2 लाख 4 लाख 5 लाख रुपए से कम में नहीं होती है. तो अगर आप जाते हैं हॉस्पिटल और अगर आपने इंश्योरेंस नहीं लिया है तो 4 लाख 5 लाख रुपए किसके पॉकेट से जाने वाला है? वो आपके पॉकेट से जाएगा. तो you have to take a decision whether you want to leak your own pocket, you want to dent your pocket, you want to dent your account, or you want to cover that particular risk. So please be prudent. Please take some financial literacy sessions. Please be prudent and ensure that you are covering your risk. Now, what happens is if you feel, if there is a comfort with you that fine, my risks are covered, then कुछ हम business risk भी उठाते हैं. You know, we take certain decisions. I said, चलो, let us take this contract up. Whatever happens, my risk will be covered. So that sense of security makes you a bolder entrepreneur. Because if you have a sense of security, you know, जैसे हम लोग जब क्रिकेट देखते थे, अभी तेंदुलकर आने वाला बाकी है, तेंदुलकर इज येट टू बैट, सो यू नो देयर इज सेंस ऑफ सिक्योरिटी दैट वो तेंदुलकर आएंगे या कोहली आएंगे या वो छक्का मारेंगे या मैच जीत जाएंगे. सो दैट सेंस ऑफ सिक्योरिटी जो रहता है हमारे साथ, तो हम कुछ बोल्डर मूव्स ले सकते हैं, कुछ बोल्डर डिसीजंस ले सकते हैं. So that gives you a sense of security when you are into, you know, when you've been covered. Next, sir. Sir, next. Sorry, yes. Now, when you enter into a contract, which is the extraterritorial operations, you know, आप लोग कुछ लोग already कर रहे होंगे, कुछ लोग सोच रहे होंगे. Then, friends, in that case, क्या होता है when the contract is between two different geographies, in which two different laws apply. In that case, a party has a choice to make a condition or agree that only this law will apply. This is called choice of law. Suppose you are a startup based in India and you are contracting with somebody based in Germany, or let's say Europe or US or wherever it is. Then the question will come that in case some dispute happens, or in case some interpretation of a clause has to be done, then which law will apply? And at that point of time, you have to put your foot down or you have to negotiate. Depends. Whatever is the business call that a startup founder makes, that only laws of India will apply. Or if the other person prevails on you, he will prevail say that the laws of Germany will apply. So this is basically called as choice of law. That more depends on a person who has a more bargaining power in a contract. मतलब कौन सा ऐसा जो contract की जो दो पार्टियां होती हैं, उसमें किसके पास who has more bargaining power, उस पे भी ये बहुत सारी चीजें डिपेंड करती है. But suppose we are from India, then we make as a that's Indian law will apply. Then understanding that law, understanding the implication of that law, understanding how far that law protects me or helps me will be easier, because we have been used to this ecosystem for long. But if you agree to let's say a law of Germany to apply, वहां पे यूरोप में यूएस में क्या है friends, there is a lot of elements of strict liability. आप देखते होंगे गूगल को इतना फाइन कर दिया, फेसबुक को इतना फाइन कर दिया, एप्पल को इतना फाइन कर दिया. सो वहां पे लाइबिलिटी का जो एंगल है बहुत ह्यूज है, और छोटी छोटी चीजों के लिए भी लाइबिलिटी है वहां पे. तो प्लीज व्हेन यू आर एंटरिंग इनटू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट विद a party which is based in the third country, so be very sure, negotiate hard on this point, because this is something which will determine that what happens if a dispute is to happen. So or because even though you are based in India, everything in the contract, if you agree to law of Germany, everything in the contract will be analyzed in accordance with laws of Germany, not in accordance with laws of India. So you have to be very clear about it, that which law you have to choose, because in future that is what is going to give you comfort. Next, sir. Then dispute resolution hota hai, many times in contracts. If see, contract has a life cycle. It starts from negotiating to handshaking to delivery, and then possibly confusion, and then if confusion happens, then dispute happens. That is basically a typical life cycle of a contract, and this is the last this is last which anybody anticipates or expects कि भैया दो पार्टी जो साथ में काम कर रहे हो उनके बीच में dispute हो जाए. But this is something which is also inevitable. We cannot just keep it aside and say that वो जब होगा तब देखेंगे. ऐसा भी नहीं कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि एक in the integral life cycle, this is also one of the most important element. So ensure that otherwise if you have to go to court, then it's a long struggle in court. 3 साल 4 साल 5 साल लग जाते हैं कोर्ट से कुछ रिलीफ मिलने में. So ensure there is a proper arbitration clause there. And nowadays, friends, there is we have law which has now regularized mediation also. So mediation also has become a legalized format of dispute resolution. आजकल बहुत सारे you all tech में take an idea. Many people are coming with online dispute resolution platforms. 2-3 startups काम कर रहे हैं. I have started a ODR forum for education institutions. We call it Aid Resolve, where we conduct all the online inquiries of ragging, disciplinary inquiry. वो सब हम लोग online करते हैं. आजकल बहुत सारे online dispute हैं, तो please see that which is the best and most economical and most effective mechanism by which the disputes can be resolved. So while you are doing it, don't go to court as a, I'm not saying that, I'm not discouraging you that you should go to court, but then arbitration is an alternative mechanism which offers a, easier remedy, faster remedy, and a possibly effective remedy also. So you have to weigh your options there. Next, sir. I have dealt with these aspects, common causes. I said cap on damages. जब आप किसी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में आप एंटर करते हैं and you anticipate that the contract may possibly have some elements where liability may arise, then try to cap your liability. Then I talked about insurance, which is called as indemnity. So indemnity basically, friends, आप किसी आपकी गलती के लिए अगर कोई तीसरा आदमी आपकी गलती को हर्जाना भरता है, उसको हम लोग इंडेमनिटी बोलते हैं. दैट इज बेसिकली कॉल्ड एज बेसिकली एज इंडेमनिटी. So that is immunity. Then basically there are some common causes that we should understand and keep it in contract. Next, sir. Now, as I said, I explained to you the contract life cycle. Breach of contract is also a very important element of a contract life cycle, because many times some people tend to falter. We do falter, कुछ गलती हो जाती है. Then what are the clauses in the contract which talk about what would happen if breach has to happen? That's very, very important. If you leave it open-ended, then it is open to sky for anybody's interpretation. Right. So your contract should also specify as to what is going to happen if a breach is there. Will I pay compensatory damage? There is also a concept, friend, which is called as punitive damage. Punitive क्या होता है? It's like a trying to make a person learn some lesson. तुमने ऐसा किया ना, तुमको ये करना पड़ेगा. I'll teach you a lesson. Many time as friends we must have seen in many movies also. I'll teach you a lesson. So punitive damage क्या होता है? It becomes a very kind of a warning and a very harsh very harsh punishment which is taken as deterrence. Compensatory is basically something कि आपका जो भी loss हुआ हम उसको cover करेंगे. सपोज 10 लाख का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट था, 2 लाख का सामान नहीं मिला, 2 लाख के कारण कुछ आपका लॉस हुआ, तो हम उसको दैट इज कॉल्ड कॉम्पेंसेशन. Punitive is like a teaching a lesson damage. So it depends, when you are entering into contract, please see कि अगला पार्टी आपसे क्या साइन करा रहा है. Is it only a simple compensation that is seeking from you, or is also trying to seek a compensatory, a punitive damage from you? You have to read those contracts very, very carefully. So, there's some sound at the background. Hello. Yes. So please see what are the damage clause there, and then we can then we should take it further. Next, sir. Just skip next 2 slides, sir, and then we'll go to negotiating your position directly. We're almost clocking 1. No, just skip this. Skip this. Now it's very important, friends, that when you're entering into a contract, many times what happens is no, just the previous one. The previous one, sir. Yes. See, many times what happens is when you are negotiating a contract, we tend to consider ourselves as the inferior party. Please understand, friends, that whenever you are negotiating a contract, do not just sign things for signing sake. Do not be in rush. And do not consider yourself to be a party inferior to the contract. Because लोग जाते हैं, ठीक है भैया, I'm giving you 20 lakh rupees, you give me 20% equity. Please consider yourself to be equally valuable. He is coming and investing in you because you are valuable. He is not going to invest in you because you are invaluable element. But negotiate your position, leverage your position, leverage your strength, because you have a lot of strength, therefore that person is coming and investing. Therefore, the person wants to do some collaboration with you or do some association with you. So in a contract negotiation, in a contract discussion, आप अपने आप को कभी भी ऐसा मत समझो कि आपका bargaining power कम है. You have to always feel that you have equal bargaining power, and then only, friends, you will be able to take a particular decision and stand to a particular decision. Otherwise, you are open to exposure, you are open to your position getting exploited by the other person. Other thing also is there, risk and reward. See, there are many circumstances which happen that a particular clause may have potential to, give you more reward, but possibly carries a risk. At that point of time, you have to take a business decision. आपको एक business decision लेना पड़ता है कि now suppose, जैसे मैंने ये बताया governing law का. Now, your German counterpart or a UK counterpart may say that no, in my contract, laws of UK will apply. Correct? He said that if you are doing it, we go ahead. If you are not doing it, we are not going ahead. And if he is not going ahead, possibly a particular startup may, let's say, lose a contract of 1 crore rupees. At that point of time, you have to take a business decision. That is what's called risk versus reward mechanism. आपको एक business decision लेना पड़ेगा which is more favorable to you. At that point of time, lawyer is not going to be of any assistance to you. It is your business acumen, it is your sixth sense which has to work. You have to basically compare, जो बोलते हैं ना, do some pros and cons. What if I go ahead this way and what if I don't go ahead this way? So basically, you do your balancing of what would be better and what you would lose, and then take basically a business decision. We can go next, Shukla sir. Go to next one. Yes. It's very important, friends, that while you start growing big, and I wish all of you grow big, that you start managing your contract practices. No, sir. The previous one.
Actually, sir, there is a difference in latency. तो मैं यहाँ से चेंज करता हूँ तो 1 सेकंड 2 सेकंड के बाद वहां पे डिस्प्ले होता है. So that's why what I'm looking here, it's 3 seconds delayed to you. So this one, managing contract best practices.
Managing contract, yes.
Yes. Are you able to see the screen, sir? Managing contracts?
No, sir, I think the 3 seconds of your mobile is not over, it seems. Yes, now I can see.
Yes, I'm on a hotspot, sir, right now.
No problem.
क्योंकि
you are also doing the work of managing the session, so that's fine.
yeah, I've always
क्या होता है, friends,
been the
that
speaker
you
most
start-
of the time. So this time host you.
So
Yeah.
many times what happens, friends, that as we grow
So-
big, we enter into different kind of contracts, employment contracts, supplier contracts, investor contracts. So please, manage your contracts well. Try to keep a central storage, try to have some kind of Excel sheet going on, that this is the date of the first milestone, this is your second milestone, this is my obligation on the first milestone. So you develop good contract practices. You all must be, you all are from engineering college, so technology must be your maybe a fun point. So try to develop some tech, how you manage the renewals, how you manage the following up the contract, tracking the timelines, tracking the milestones. So not only signing contract is just one part of it. Implementing contract is another part of it. Following contract is also the part of it. So कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइनिंग करके उसको भुला नहीं जाने का है. कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइनिंग के बाद आपको देखना है कि आपका राइट क्या है, आपका अधिकार क्या है, अगले पार्टी का अधिकार क्या है, उसका ऑब्लिगेशन क्या है, पहले माइलस्टोन पे वो कब कंप्लीट. तो आपको एक पूरा टाइमलाइन बनाना पड़ेगा वंस यू साइन द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, दैट दिस इज हाउ द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज गोइंग टू बी इम्प्लीमेंटेड. जो हम लोग एक एसओपी बोलते हैं या टाइम चार्ट बोलते हैं, तो उसको एक उसका एक आपको प्रैक्टिस जो है, बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस बनाना बहुत बहुत जरूरी है. नेक्स्ट. इस बार 3 सेकंड जल्दी हो गया आपका, शुक्ला सर. देखिए वो आप अगले साइड पे चले गए, ये तो लास्ट पे आप चले गए.
कौन सा सर ऊपर?
मैनेजिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के बाद की स्लाइड है।
ओके
Wait. Now I don't know whether this we should do this, Shukla sir. You know, I've kept some clauses which has some mistakes. If we want, we can take this up or we can skip this. I want my people just to understand that whatever I interacted, was it effective at all, or it was just a kind of a political speech? So whether we can take this up or we can skip it if you as the way that you want.
So basically, this all has been recorded, so that means I can have the sessions in the later also. I mean, those recordings are important, and also your connects, right? So
we will skip this.
This comprehensive legal solutions to realize your startup dreams, sir?
No.
This slide.
No. So these are some clauses which are there, which have some common
Yeah.
No. You go to some common mistakes. Yes. So these are certain clauses which I have drafted, which have certain mistakes in it. So what I do generally is I then interact with the startups and try to find out whatever I have spoken with them, interacted with them, have they understood to a certain level, the basic level. Obviously, law is another huge portion. So we can interact with them to understand and find out, and they can share if they've understood it, what are the mistakes in these clauses. Otherwise, we can skip this part, whatever way.
Yes, sir. We'll continue with the next slide because this is an exercise and the practice of it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think this is the same one, so we can go to the next one.
Okay.
So now this is all friends, possibly with some less disturbance. I believe, we would have interacted more. But please be, always bear that, lawyers are your friends. And please, not only Ravi Bhardwaj, anybody whom you can consult, we are always there. You should always, when you are trying to enter into any third-party relationship, please ensure that your interests are properly protected. आपका इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी है, आपका ट्रेडमार्क है, आपका कॉपीराइट है, आपके ट्रेड सीक्रेट्स हैं, आपके प्रोजेक्ट आर्किटेक्चर हैं, आपका एम्प्लॉयमेंट है, आपका डेटा है. प्लीज एंश्योर फ्रेंड दैट योर company, your interest of the company, you yourself, your investment, your business, everything is protected in proper manner the moment you start interacting with a third party. That's very, very important क्योंकि कौन सा चीज कहाँ पे जाके किस समय आपको डैमेज करेगा ये आपको नहीं पता है. We lawyers always sound pessimistic, but there is always a optimism in that pessimism, because we try to prepare an individual for a better future, for a better business growth, and for better protection of interest. So we do sound sometimes negative, but that negativity helps you to become more positive, because हम आपको sensitize करते हैं कि अगर आप ये नहीं करेंगे तो हो सकता है आपको ये possibly loss हो जाए. You later to mull over it कि अरे उस समय रवि भारद्वाज सर की बात सुने होते तो शायद ऐसा नहीं होता. उस चीज को हटाने के लिए हम आपको आज ही बताने की कोशिश करते हैं कि ये सब चीज आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है, और ये सब चीज अगर आप फॉलो कीजिएगा, ऑब्वियसली योर बिजनेस आइडिया हैज टू बी मोर predominant in startup than the legal counsel, but it becomes very, very important that you should follow all these things. You should ensure that everything happens in proper manner, and then everything is yours. Idea आपका है, business आपका है, आपके हैं, everything is yours. So this is all from my side. I wish all of you a great future, and you had excellent startup session to start with. Ganesh and Mihir being a exemplary in their own domain and having achieved a lot, being student and within a very short span of time. And anything that you all need, I've said I have a startup legal initiative. You can always approach us through Mr. Shukla. You can, we can always have some one-to-one sessions, whatever way that you feel like. But please be very, very careful when you negotiate a contract. I have seen 100 cases, friend, wherein anxiety, in anticipation, people sign anything. Please do not do that. Please negotiate your position hard. Please leverage your technology. Please leverage your startup. Please leverage your idea. Just only don't sign for anything. So that's all, friends. All the best to you. Great. Lovely interacting with you. We'll keep interacting in future. Thank you.
थैंक यू सो मच सर, एंड आपसे क्षमा चाहते हैं कि ये होस्ट बन के हमने कितना बड़ा मतलब आपका कंट्रोल ये
आप
सब
एक स्टार्टअप चालू कीजिए
करके
इसमें।
हमने बहुत टाइम वेस्ट किया। हाँ सर, इसके लिए सर ये तो जान लिया कि अब किसी को एंकर बनना पड़ेगा। हम जब हम मतलब होस्ट और एंकर किसी को बनना पड़ेगा, हम सब कुछ नहीं कर सकते। ये हमने आज सीखा है। there's a principal sir who was here and he has asked your number in the mobile number. I have sent my number so that I could relay. Yeah. So I can send all the details to him.
Okay.
Right, sir? Yeah, sure. I'll send all the details to him. I have given my number. Thank you so much, sir. And I'm really sorry for this, that जो बीच में latency के कारण कुछ glitches हुए. Thank you. Now we have our next speaker. I also, once again, sorry, Dinesh, sir, to keep you waiting long, because we also spent a lot of time in this changing of the slides and things about it. So next, Mr. Dinesh Israni, let me open up the presentation for it. Just a minute, sir. Are you able to see the screen, sir? Dinesh, sir?
No, I don't think so. I can, I don't see the presentation there. I think it's your file manager which is open.
Now?
I can see your screen. That is
yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll just now skip again. So we have our angel investor, Mr. Dinesh Israni from the Naman Angels India Foundations. And he's a mentor for excellence to many technology entrepreneurs, and his focus is on converting technologies to businesses that can monetize these technologies. And he has diverse portfolios, and he will invite you. Thank you so much, sir. We can move to your slide, sir. Yeah, over to you, sir.
You'll have to move to my slide. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much, Mrudang ji, for having me on this particular session. Am I audible? Am I loud and clear?
Yes, you are. You are audible,
great,
sir.
Great. Thanks. Before I start my session, I really want to thank Ravi Bhardwaj ji. इन्होंने जो भी बात की, I mean, I think whenever any angel investment round or any venture fund round happens, the most important person for us is an advocate. हम advocate के बगैर कुछ नहीं कर पाते. He is the most important person in any funding round. This is my, under quotes, no funding round can ever happen without an advocate. Bhardwaj ji, your session was so good for all our, all the budding startups. So thank you, really, thank you so much. So,
thank you.
And a word for Mihir and Ganesh. I heard about your journey, Mihir and Ganesh, and it was a very interesting journey. Let me also tell you that my journey has been similar. I am also a person who is born out of 4 major damages, 4 major losses. Okay. My first 4 companies in life were disasters because of my own fault. And being from the Sindhi community, I'm not kidding. I was, labeled as a loser in the Sindhi community. Everyone told me the Sindhiyon ke naam pe kalank hai. He can't do any business. I made money, but none of my businesses could, I could actually maintain. I saw so much of failure that ultimately I decided I'm good in teaching and I'm a failure. So why not make failure my profession? I started an initiative in Bandra, Bombay, called Screwed Up But Not Lost. हम जैसे लोग जो बिजनेस में सब कुछ गवा बैठे थे, फेल होते, चार businesses में फेल हुए थे, we all got together and we used to sit and have a Saturday evening in one of the bars, you know, and we named that initiative Screwed Up But Not Lost. As luck could have it, हमारी वो meetings से, जो Saturday evening की meetings से, हमें you know, we could revive about 4 businesses. That is when Naman Angels India Foundation actually took birth. We had so much of input in which we understood कि क्या गड़बड़ होती है, what is a mistake that we do in all our ventures, in all our businesses. My experience, and when you're sitting on a forum with, you know, about 30 people who have lost their businesses and getting their inputs and then thinking from an outside perspective, हमें clearly पता चला कि what are the mistakes that we make in a particular business, in a particular venture. And घूम फिर के एक ही चीज पे सादा मिस्टेक होता है. एक, या तो हमने गलत पैसे उठाए हैं, या तो हमने पैसों का गलत यूज किया है. And third, and the most important thing is we have not documented ourselves properly. Our loss is basically because of our documentation. These are the 3 major things which I have seen are, you know, any problem for any kind of a venture. और इन सब को भरने के लिए we started an organization called as Naman Angels India Foundation. So my journey started off as a teacher. मैं engineering college का teacher था. I started my career as an engineering college teacher. Did not enjoy much, so moved out, started my classes. I had a good big bunch of engineering students जिनको मैं counsel करना शुरू किया. And we started off by commercializing their projects. Final year में जब आप project बनाते हैं, you put your mind to it. Of course, in Mumbai, I have come across at least 60% of the people who buy ready-made projects and just work on it. But the 40% who are working on certain projects, who are working on innovative projects, how do we commercialize those projects is where I started this journey. उनको commercialize करते हैं, convert the prototype. First of all, convert the project to a prototype. Prototype से उसको आगे ले जाके, you know, you convert it to a product. And once it's a product, how do you actually bring it to the market? How do you get the commercial aspect of it? We designed this entire journey. So to quickly, you know, and just to tell you what all funds are available for all of you and how you can reach out to them. I have a small presentation kept in front of you. Mrudang Sarji, if you can just move to the next slide. You know. And all those who are listening to me, if you have anything that you would want to ask me, please feel free to, you know, ask. So let's move to the next slide. ये जो आपको दिख रहा है, this is actually the chart for a basic funding requirement. Okay, आप business proposal बनाते हैं. You start with a basic concept. As a student, I'm assuming you are a student of one of the engineering colleges. You have a particular idea in mind. You have a concept in mind. You bring that concept on paper. आप उस concept को paper पे ले आते हैं. Create what is known as a proposal, a seed proposal. And then you approach for basic seed fund. अब सवाल ये आता है, हमें वो seed fund कहाँ से आता है? Seed fund is the first amount of fund which you can raise for just starting your business. अपना business शुरू करने के लिए जो जैसे आप किसी plant को grow करते हैं, सबसे पहले आप seeds को डालते हैं, बीज डालते हैं. वो seeds कहाँ से आती हैं? पुराने जमाने में बोला जाता था कि अगर आपको अपना business शुरू करना है, you need to have 3 F's. Friends, family, and fools. Friends are those friends who will help you. They will all get together, put in some money and tell you, chaliye aap ye business start kar dijiye, and we are there to support you. Second option is family. Okay. You have a family, your uncle, your aunties, your relatives who are more than happy to put your funds. In fact, let me tell you one thing. The most difficult investor in your life will be your father. आप और किसी भी इन्वेस्टर को क्रैक कर पाओगे, बट अपने पेरेंट से investment nikalna is one of the most difficult forms as of today. I'm sure many people will agree with me. Shukla Sarji, Bhardwaj Sarji, do you agree with me? The most difficult investor as of today is a father. I mean,
I definitely agree with you, sir.
200%, sir, not 100%.
Sir, but I said,
correct.
yes, sir. But I always
But
promote to the
biggest
students.
benefit, sir, is they will not take equity when they invest.
हाँ वही इसीलिए तो मैं इसीलिए सर स्टूडेंट्स को प्रमोट करता हूँ प्राइवेट लिमिटेड के लिए, तो उनको यही कहता हूँ कि ऑलवेज कीप योर फादर और समवन हु इज in the future support in the terms of monetary as your other director actually,
correct.
Yeah.
So सबसे पहले seed fund इन्हीं लोगों से लिया जाता था, friends, family and fools. Fools is a different category. Fools वो लोग होते हैं जो सामने से आपको कहते हैं प्लीज हमारे पैसे लो, हमारे पैसों से खेलो. जब आप उन पैसों से खेलते हो और अगर उनको बराबर रिटर्न नहीं मिलती है, even if it's delayed by a day, you have those pathans standing at your place. That is what I meant by fools. So that is a very dangerous category of picking up funds. ये पहले हुआ करता था. Ab, with so many government schemes that you have at your doorsteps, seed fund has become the easiest fund to procure. There are so many government agencies. For example, you have Startup India. You have the Startup India Seed Fund. You have Nidhi SS, which is for developing your prototype. You have certain funds which come from Atal Innovation Mission. You have there are loads of funds. You have from Maharashtra State Innovation Society. You have some funds from there. You have basic seed funds from MSME. In fact, as of today, even SIDBI is offering a seed fund. These are for all innovative startups. अगर आपका startup कोई innovative नहीं है, no issues. If it's not an innovative startup, no issues. You can still procure funds from a lot of government support. Like you have the Mudra Fund, you have the Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Fund, you have the Chief Minister Employment Generation Fund. These are all funds which are for your startup. They are only for your startup. आपको अपना venture शुरू करना है. You want to start your venture. You have a lot of support for getting a seed fund. But for that, your seed proposal should be flawless. देखिए, अगर आपका seed proposal flawless नहीं है, आप कुछ भी presentation बना के हमारे सामने बैठते हैं, so the funds will not be easily given to you. You have to earn those funds. Okay. So आपको क्या करना होता है? Come up with a good concept, make a proposal, pitch to any incubation center, pitch to any of these government funds that you have. आपको seed funding मिलती है. That is where you start your business. You just lift your business to a particular level. उसके आगे जब आपका business बढ़ता है, you want to grow your business, you want to, enhance your venture, then you can go in for different rounds. This is how actually a circle happens, and of course, ultimately you generate what is known as a sustainable business, as you can see in the final stage. That's a long journey. It's a journey. It's an interesting journey. It's a very interesting journey. But we should know when we have to take the money. Taken a wrong fund, we have messed up our journey. So can we get to the next slide, please?
Is it visible?
No.
Yeah, there's some animations
So
actually, right? This one?
ये चलाते जाइए
Yeah,
आप. So these are the three people. There is one who have actually raised a lot of fund in the recent past. You can see Limebike. Limebike is a San Francisco-based company who have raised good amount of funds. It's one of the startups which I would really want every student to read up with. How actually Toby started his venture, and how Limebike is today one of the huge startups in San Francisco. So the second one is Work India. Work India was one of the companies which I incubated in one of our incubators. Work India is a very, very interesting case study. The gentleman, you can see the bald gentleman, he is Mr. Kunal Patil. It was his idea to start off with this particular venture. He knew that if you have to start Work India is basically, blue-collared placements, placements of blue-collared people. So when Mr. Kunal Patil had this idea, he wants to start this kind of an app where, you should be able to support and place the blue-collared labor. He approached this college in Andheri, SPIT, and collected a couple of students from there. And those students became his co-founders who actually set up this country, so this entire company. And today the valuation of Work India is about 2,000 crores. So, it's a company which has really grown up, and you can see the names of investors that they have to their credit. Okay. This was very much incubated in Andheri in the year 2016. 2015, 2016 is when they formed the company, they started the journey. And today they have reached a very good pace. The third one that you see, God was Naman Angels India Foundation's very first investment, and a very peculiar investment. This was a gentleman from one of the institutes who came up with this idea of God. And so initially I had not trusted him. I mean, we didn't have the trust. I mean, I found the idea a little weird. But he kept chasing us. He kept asking us for funds. He kept following up. It's a funny thing. I was once in one of the restrooms, and this gentleman catches me in the restroom, and that's where he again tells me, what he has done, the amount of work he has done, and what is the progress with his company. And to fund in his company, the decision was taken actually in the restroom, in the bathroom, because that's when I noticed the dedication that this gentleman has. Of course, today it's a wonderful startup. I feel we're very happy investing in this particular company. Very peculiar thing. This guy very well knew what he wants. This guy very well had the patience to follow up. He knew that he has to get this kind of an investment and where he has to reach. Till date, I will be very honest. The progress that he's making is literally as per what he has discussed. Okay, so that was about God, Mimosa Technologies. So can we move next to the next slide? So this is what I just discussed with you. The initial fund that we need is seed fund. As I told you, seed fund you can get from friends, family, and then government funds today you can get from any of the incubators. I'm sure Mrudang sir also will be having access to a lot of these initial seed funds. Okay, there are a lot of seed funds which are available. The second type of fund which you can actually raise is a debt fund. सीड फंड के बाद जब आप सेकेंड राउंड रेज करने जाते हैं तो हम हमारे स्टार्टअप्स को एडवाइस करते हैं that you please pick up a debt fund. Debt fund is money which is taken on interest. आप अपनी बैंक से या किसी NBFC से आप एक फंड लेते हैं. You take that fund on a particular percentage. We advise our startups, please take a debt fund. Because जब आपने debt fund लिया है और किसी बैंक से लिया है, so we are dead sure the bank trusts you. And if the bank trusts you, any angel investor in the world will trust you. Okay. So we always advise कि आप एक छोटा मोटा loan ले लीजिए. Because when you take a debt fund from the bank, it's not going to be an easy task. It's a tough task. There's a lot of documentation. There's a lot of due diligence which happens. आप एक बार debt ले सकते हैं. अगर आपकी बैंक आप पे trust करती है, आपको बैंक अगर debt देती है, then दुनिया का कोई भी angel investor आप पे trust करे. And the last funding that you have, the last fund that you should get into is equity-based funding. Please remember this, all of you, please remember, जो सबसे expensive fund होता है is the equity fund. Equity fund is the most expensive fund. आज हमें लगता है बहुत आसान है, हम इक्विटी पे फंड उठा लेते हैं, बट बाद में जो सफरिंग होती है, we don't even realize. So equity fund is the most expensive fund. I feel you should get into equity only when you are absolutely ready to pick up an equity fund. और equity fund raise करने के लिए आप ready कब होते हैं? That is when you are when you are about to jump to a big leap. आप एक बड़ी छलांग मारने जाते हैं, जो आपके individual support से नहीं हो सकता. That is when you should get into equity. Let me give you a wonderful example. A company like Zerodha. Zerodha aaj tak is a bootstrapped company. They have run this business without raising any funds. Okay. Equity में क्या होता है? Equity में you bring in funds from outside, but you pledge your company shares. आप अपनी company का एक हिस्सा उनको सामने वाले को दे देते हैं. Where the opposite person who's investing into your company, वो आपका एक partner बन जाता है. He's a partner. So these are the different types of fundings in their sequence format, which we advise our startups to follow. पहले आप seed उठा लें, take it. If you can take it from family, very good. Otherwise, from incubator, some of the schemes. Then you pick up a debt fund. थोड़ा सा आप debt पे खेलें. Play on interest, because जब आप interest लेते हैं, आपके सर पे तलवार होती है. You grow your business. जब आपका business अच्छे level पे होता है, you have a bargaining power, and now you want to grow your business. That is when you should raise your equity rounds. That is when you start with the equity. Okay. Mrudang sir, can we get to the next slide, please? Oh, okay. So ये है basically seed fund. As I told you, how you raise your seed fund. Okay. You should always do your homework, and that's when you should approach. So can we get to the next slide? Yes, sir. I have already kind of discussed. Because Mrudang sir ने कल मुझे strictly बोला, you will be given 30 minutes of time, so you need to structure everything in 30 minutes. So sir, I'm just trying to get everything on time. So इसके बाद आता है angel investors. See, when we talk about equity fund, आपको वो equity fund कहाँ से मिलता है? There are two different ways in which you can get the equity fund. One is angel investors. अभी angel investors कौन है? Angel investors are those rich people, those HNIs, जिनके पास पैसे हैं और अपना network है. They will put money into your company, and they will also support you by giving you their network. You have to grow the money, but angel investors सिर्फ एक चीज पे ध्यान रखता है. I will put money in your organization. how much do I get after a particular time? मैंने आज 10 रुपए डाले, आप मुझे कितने दे रहे हो? आप उनसे कहोगे कि हम आपको 100 रुपए देंगे. Angel investor सीधे से calculate करेगा कि if I put this 10 rupees here, will I make 100 or will I make more than 100? Suppose if his calculation says the rest of investment he'll be able to make only 80, whereas your startup can give him 100. That's when he's interested in taking a risk and investing in your venture. Okay. So एक angel investor आपके organization में तब पैसे डालेगा when he sees returns. Only when he sees returns. Now the question is, where do we find these angels? These angels are everywhere. Okay. These angels are there everywhere. You may be sitting next to an angel investor, you never know. I will give you a lot of these categories where you can find out these angel investors. One is anyone who has money lying in the bag and he's putting money in the stock market. If you can convert him and take some money from him, he can become an angel investor. I'll tell you the latest category of angel investors that I'm seeing, and I'm very surprised. There are a lot of these IT professionals. IT, we all know there are very good salaries. They have a pay package of 20, 25 lakhs per annum, 30 lakhs per annum. These people are young. They are, as of today, maybe in the age group of 30 to 35, and they're earning maybe 35 lakhs or 36 lakhs per annum. उनकी नीड इतनी नहीं है. वो क्या करते हैं? हर साल they put 20 lakhs down. साथ में साइड में रख देते हैं. And they have made a group of 4 or 5 friends. 20 lakh का एक pool बना के they want to invest into startups. Okay, so this is a new trend of angel investors that I have seen, and I'm pretty surprised. You have a lot of them in Pune. Pune में IT वाले भरे हुए हैं, and Pune में I have a lot of these kind of investors, who collect 5 to 10 lakhs, make a pool of a fund, and they invest into startups. That is one way in which you can get some good angel investors. Second is, there are a lot of these unorganized market businessmen. Kapda market ho gaya, there are a lot of these people who have their own shops, own stores. They are excellent angel investors these days. They also want to put money into startups because they know the kind of returns that they get. Predominantly, I will tell you, look at the Marwadi, Sindhi and Gujarati community. Okay. They are all interested in putting money in the startups because today they know startups is giving them a good return. They also know that if startup is not up to the mark, their money is gone. They know that also. So they have those calculated risks. एक और कैटेगरी मैंने देखी है, वो हमारी कम्युनिटी में देखी है. See, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot about my own community because we also run, a Sindhi fund where we have a lot of Sindhi investors. अब वहां पर हमारे पास जो investors हैं, they are the ones who are into some kind of a local business. उनकी दुकानें होंगी, and they don't want the next generation to come into that business. तो वो आते हैं हमारे पास, कहते हैं देखिए हम 4-5 करोड़ डालने को रेडी हैं, आप कोई हमें अच्छा स्टार्टअप दिला दीजिए जिसमें हम 4-5 करोड़ डाल देते हैं और हमारे बेटे को डायरेक्टर पोजीशन पे बैठा देते हैं. So the child gets startup to work on, money is parked, and the startup also gets a support because एक HNI का लड़का आपके बोर्ड पे है तो आपको पैसों की दिक्कत आनी नहीं है in the near future. Okay, so that is one new category of angel investors that we have seen, which are community based. You will get a lot of these angel investors in the 3 communities that I told you: the Gujaratis, the Marwadis, and the Sindhi community. In and Kachi, of course, not to forget the Kachi community. You will get a lot of them. It's just that how you actually reach out to them, how you convince them, and how you get them on board. That is when a company like ours, Naman Angels, comes to help. We do precisely this work of connecting you to the correct angels and hand-holding you so that you don't fall in any wrong books. See, when the deal is done, the matchmaking has to be very clear. Ek angel investor, when they come with a lot of weight. They come with a lot of baggage. कि भाई आप तो हमसे पैसे ले रहे हैं, हम आपको पैसे दे रहे हैं. So, हम आपके main हो गए. Okay. ऐसे नहीं होता है. You also have to bring in what is your value. So, company like Naman Angels does that matchmaking. मुझसे कोई पूछता है आप क्या है, मैं कहता हूँ मैं पुराने जमाने का पंडित जी जो शादी करवाते हैं. ओके, जो पंडित जी पहले शादी करवाते थे ना, लड़के को जाके लड़की की अच्छी बातें बताएंगे, लड़की को जाके लड़के के बारे में अच्छी बातें बताएंगे and do the matchmaking. That is exactly what we do. We get the matchmaking done between a startup and the angel investor. Okay. Any questions on angel investing? Anybody? Okay. Sir, can we get to the next slide, please? Next, just jump 2 slides, then we get to venture fund. Yeah, ये मैंने पूरा सब discuss कर दिया, upside and the downside of angel investment. Yeah, thank you. That's good. The next is venture funding. Now, venture funding is, one more very good way in which you can raise fund on equity. That is by pledging your shares. Venture fund में क्या होता है? There is a corporate house. There is a corporate house which is going to collect money from people. आज अगर मैं एक fund शुरू करता हूँ, I will collect money from different people. Once I have a good fund of my own, I will start putting that money into different startups. So I, as a corporate, as a fund manager, I will be a fund manager. मैंने 100 लोगों से पैसे collect कर दिए. I have made 100 crore fund. And now when you approach me and I feel your idea is good, your business is good, I, as a fund manager, will park money into your company. I will invest in your company as against equity by taking a certain amount of share. What I do in between, in the bargain, I come on your directorial board. I take a seat in your cap table. I decide how your company has to be. So whenever I feel there are wrong policies that are happening in the company, me as a corporate will take care and make sure that nothing goes wrong with your company, because my investors are at my back. मुझे मेरे investors को profits दिखाना है. So it's like a normal corporate fund. Venture funding जो है is, मैं कहता हूँ, when you get into the series rounds, that's when you should approach a venture fund. Don't approach venture funds for small amounts, because venture fund is a corporate. They will always come with a very heavy baggage. Okay. जब आप starting में उनके पास चले जाते हैं, so they take away a lot of equity from you. So we always advise our startups कि venture fund के पास जाना है, थोड़े time बाद चले जाइए. Even though they advertise we are ready to put seed fund, but that seed fund is always a very expensive, very, very expensive seed fund from any venture funding. Yes, you get a lot of support, and a lot of push, but it's at the cost of your own company. Okay, so venture fund is, towards the second phase of your business when you want to really grow it and you want to take the turnover beyond 1,000 crores. That's when you should actually get into venture funding. Okay, sir, can we get to the next? So this is what we just discussed, the upside and the downside. A venture fund will always give you a term sheet. I mean, anytime you get a fund, there's a term sheet. टर्म शीट, माय सिंसियर रिक्वेस्ट इज आप कहीं से भी पैसे उठाइए, टर्म शीट सबसे पहले अपने लीगल टीम्स से डिस्कस करिए. Don't sign any term sheet without consulting your legal teams. I mean, am I right, Ravi sir? Do you support that point? I'm sure Ravi sir से आप पूछेंगे तो he will tell you how. Do you agree with me, Ravi sir?
100% I agree, sir.
Term sheet आपको दुनिया में
there is no doubt that I have always told that, see, क्या होता है sir, startups in anxiety of money, funds, future interest, they sometimes tend to compromise. I said, while they negotiate a contract, they should not consider themselves to be inferior party. I always tell them that it is only that you are valuable. That is why somebody is coming and investing in you. Therefore, negotiate your position, consult, because they do not know many legal implications of what they are signing. जैसे सर बहुत सारे वो होते हैं, reserve matters रहते हैं, ये सब reserve matters रहेंगे. You don't know what are you actually surrendering to the investor. With all due respect, I know you represent the investor community, but you don't know what are you surrendering. So those things are very, very important.
Sir, मैं खुद जानता हूँ, हम उनको angels नाम उनको angel का दिया है, but they are actually devils in disguise. You know, we know how they are.
I could not have said in so many words, but since you admit, then I accept it.
Sir, I'm living with them. I always feel I'm living in a pool of crocodiles, you know. With all my angels, I really feel I live in the pool of
no, it's very, very important, sir. In fact, many people come and ask me, sir, whether term sheet is binding, not binding. तो बहुत सारी कहानियां होती हैं उसमें.
बहुत चीजें होती हैं in this term sheet. You know, and I've seen such draconian terms in the term sheet. They come up with such draconian clause कि हम घबरा जाते हैं कि ये इसमें तो हमारा startup पूरी तरह मर जाएगा. You know, so though we are able to do that management, but we are totally not, you know, incomplete without legal support. So whenever you are raising funds through any agency, a legal team will be an integral part of fundraising process. Mrudang sir, can we get to the next slide, please? Sir, am I able to reach out to the people? Are you all getting it?
Yes, sir, definitely. And already this session is recording now, so they will ask for the recording. Students and all will ask the recording.
Right. ये जो मैंने एक slide
so I am more intent to complete the.
Yes, sir.
So that's the reason why your wisdoms and knowledge are more important over here than the timing actually.
True, sir.
So you know.
Got it. Sir. In fact, ये जो मैंने slide डाला है, this is to show something very, very important. जब भी आप angel investor के लिए जाते हैं, whenever you go for raising rounds, it is not the horse that is important, it's the horse rider. जितना मेरा अभी तक का experience है with angel investing, they always look at the founding team. Team is strong, team is complementing each other, funding round becomes easy. They will always look at the jockey. They will not look at the horse. घोड़ा manage हो जाता है. अगर आपका business plan इतना strong नहीं है, but the team is strong, with a little bit of correction, with a little bit of mentoring, I know you will be on track. I know your business will do great. With a little bit of modification in the strategy, there will be no issue getting a wonderful outcome. But if the team is faulty, nothing can happen. So the most important part is the team. For example, आप एक tech company बनाते हो, तो tech company में देखा जाता है कि आपके पास skills क्या हैं? Do you have the necessary skills? अगर सिर्फ दोनों technology के लोग हैं तो धंधा कौन करेगा? Do you have a finance person of caliber in your team? Do you have someone who understands strategy? Is that person a part of your team? Is someone with a marketing acumen a part of your team? Is someone with a finance acumen a good part of your team? That's when a lot of collaborations and team comes to play. अगर आप मेरी बात करें, मैं प्योर इंजीनियर, मुझे फाइनेंस इतना नहीं समझता. Okay, though I'm in finance business, my finance part was weak, and I knew this right from the very beginning. I got a remedy. आपको बताओ मैंने क्या किया? मुझे पता था मेरा finance हमेशा weak है. I got married to someone with a finance background. मेरी जो wife है, she's from a pure finance background. I got married. मैंने कहा मेरा solution ही हो जाएगा. And I made her the chairperson of my company. Okay, so मेरा finance aspect, wherever I am weak, I have, compensated. Okay. I thought my son will become a legal guy. तो वो पूरा के एक ही घर में सब हो जाएगा. But unfortunately, he didn't go the legal way. So, but you should have that kind of a thing. You should have.
So you are the jockey and your wife is a horse, right? For that.
Actually, sir, इसमें मैं कुछ बोलूँगा तो थोड़ा आप रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं, थोड़ा domestic problems हो जाएंगे मुझे कुछ भी बोलूँ. She's the chairperson of the company. She is the head of the company. Now, Angels is actually her company. Okay. So these are some points which I have kept in front of you before you ever meet any investor. Okay, ये बहुत important points हैं. Financials should be clear. पैसे उतने ही मांगने जितनी जरूरत है. Don't mess up with the Excels, the financials. Okay. Financials jack up करना बहुत आसान है, but I will tell you one thing कि any investor has that hawk's eye. वो पता चल जाता है कहाँ आपका manipulations है. So be very careful in creating those financial reports. When you talk about assets and liabilities, try to be as minimalistic as possible. Don't be too asset heavy. देखिए हम क्या करते हैं. मैं आपको एक केस बता रहा हूँ. ये केस है. I would not name the startup. They raised 15 lakhs from one particular incubator. And the first thing they purchased was 1.5 lakh रुपए की bike, 1.5 lakh रुपए का laptop. Okay. And 15 lakh उनको मिले थे as a seed fund from SSIF, Startup India Seed Fund. And, उसने एक bike खरीदी 1.5 lakh की दी Enfield. He bought 1.5 lakh का laptop, Apple. And after 6 months, he said that my company is not running well and I shut down. He shut shop. The reason why he shut shop is because the money which was given for business was not used wisely. I mean, you say that you need a bike because you need to travel. I think bike to 30,000 में भी मिल जाती है at that stage. So you need to be very, 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 very asset light as possible. Okay. Opportunity cost. देखिए जब आप investor के पास मिलने जाते हैं, please get a good background of the investor. Do some research on him. हर investor का strength होता है और weakness होता है. Study that. See, today as an investor, I will think if I am going to put my time and money in this organization, उतना ही time और money मैं कहीं और डालूं तो am I making more money? So you need to evaluate those opportunity costs by doing a good research on the investor. Sales report, marketing data, all these things, of course, they are an integral part. That's where you need a little bit of hand-holding, which a lot of mentors are there to help you. Please take the help of mentors. Mentors are the most important people who can help you through this journey. Relationships, ये बनाने से बनते हैं. I don't expect any startup to have a relationship, a good, strong relationship built from day one. It is to be built using networking. So network well, startup or a business founder, one key, network as much as you can. Networking is the key. It's one of the most important part of your journey. So, the next slide. I think we are at the end, We are almost at the end, sir. ये सब सर हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. Let's just move on with this. देखिए इधर एक और
So
चीज
there's
मैं कहूंगा. हाँ जी.
yeah.
इधर हम
Which
लोग
one, sir? Slide.
बहुत बातें कर चुके हैं about, you know, I just want to put one point कि when you are actually, you know, kind of getting into fundraise, please forgive me from saying this, try to be, you know, focused on your fundraise. Don't make it a public property. Don't make your organization something which becomes cheaply available on stage. You should go for pitch sessions, but be very careful how you pitch. The more you become, you know, vulnerable in front of these pitch sessions, उतना आपका organization dilute हो जाता है. Okay. So, you know, when you get into fundraise and you're a serious contender for fundraise, be very careful with investors, where you're investing, where you're pitching. सामने कौन बैठा है? You know, don't make your organization go weak or diluted. Okay. Of course, sir, ये सब जो हैं, these are all final, you know, summaries of. Next two slides are, I think, the summaries of whatever we discussed. Yeah. So these are the different government schemes which are available for startups in India. I'm sure Shukla sir is one of the best persons to give you a guidance on this, you know. Shukla sir, I have seen your knowledge on this particular thing, which is immense. So,
Thank you so much,
these are
sir. The more important I required is a convincing power, actually. My knowledge that I could convince to the students and the startups, like example, what this Ganesh, Thorat, and they mentioned about it, that start your innovations journey from the third year itself when you are doing the project. Mine say to all the students, actually. And most of the students are fascinated by this term investor, venture capitalist, and fundraisers, and also angel investors. So I just had one point in the mind that Dinesh sir will give the right information to them, actually. Not because he will encourage to raise the fund. I'm honored to have you, sir.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. So this is some chart which talks about what was the investment in 2022. Actually, 2023 reports of INC are not yet out. They should be out in the next 1 week, you know. So that's when I will be able to share some more details. 2023 ka half aaya hai. Actually, just the next slide is I put up about 2023 also. Yeah. So this is what we had the chart for 2023. So आप देख सकते हैं, we have, you know, the startup funding has touched about $180 billion, you know, in 2023, which is a good amount. पता नहीं कैसे लोग कहते हैं कि startup funding नहीं हो रही है. I was hearing so many stories कि startup funding नहीं हो रही है. But it is happening in a very discreet manner. It's happening to good and genuine startups. So create a good value proposition, come up with a good business idea, come up with something which is interesting and the need of the hour. Okay. Funding is definitely a thing that is happening, and it will happen in India. It will never stop, you know. Yes, sir. Yeah. बाद में मैंने कुछ slides डाली थी to talk about the trends, you know. कि अगर आप 2022 में देखें तो fintech and you know, e-commerce was something which is good, but last year again it's e-commerce which has been the leader. Fintech and e-commerce have always been the leaders. Fintech is something which will, I think, is the trend even in 2024 जो हम देख रहे हैं. So EdTech unfortunately has gone down. अगर आप देखें तो 2022 में EdTech had 2023 में EdTech had a downfall because there are too many people coming up with the same concept. Innovation EdTech में नहीं ला रहे हैं. Okay, so 2022 was fintech. So let's get to the next slide. I hope we'll be sharing this presentation with the people. So this is the consolidated. Yeah. So this is a consolidated report of 2023. कितने deals हुए थे? There were about 984 deals. Mergers कितने हुए थे and कितने छुपे हुए deals हैं? This is just on record detail that I could get. Okay, so I have put up this slide for just your reference that India is on the route for good financing. So there is a good future in funding. Yeah. So next slide. Next slide is the. So quickly to brief up, this is all the support that Naman Angels gives you. We help you with seed funding. We give you complete advising and mentoring. We have a very strong mentoring team, technically, as well as the business part of it. We organize a lot of boot camps, hackathons. We are connected with different educational institutes. In fact, one of the educational institutes which I'm supporting, I think the principal of that educational institute is also attending the session. That is Dr. Prakash Patil, who is the principal of Arbite College, in Shahapur. It's a rural engineering. It's a college in a rural area which I'm supporting. So there we are doing all these kind of activities, for that particular institute as well. In fact, that institute has 2 startups which were externally funded. One was funded with 50 lakhs from MSME, and the other one got a 15 lakh fund from again an MSME forum. So these are the 2 startups that that particular college, being in the rural area, Shahapur of Mumbai, they could actually raise. So these are the activities that Naman Angels is doing, and we are very active with all these things. We have a good team who works behind, on all this. So any point of time you need any kind of support and funding, mentoring, advice, we are always more than happy to help. Yes, sir. So that was a quick journey from my side, sir.
Also,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Also, I take this opportunity to leverage. our services as a facilitator to the principal, sir, who have joined the session. And please, Dinesh, sir, feel free to connect me with them. So that from this,
I will connect
and also we can support all the startups who are incubated at the principal end. From
absolutely, right? Great. Yeah. So, principal, sir, I mean,
great,
I will drop in a mail also to connect you to,
Sure, sir. We'll be happy to leverage those things.
Absolutely.
Great to know this. Thank you so much, sir. So, chasing up, asking up, and following up. This is a tell from the investor's point of view. Chasing up, asking up, following up. From the advocate, offer, acceptance, and considerations. Mind well. Offer, acceptance, and considerations. And from the Cerebrospark Innovations Private Limited, जहां से फायदा मिले वहां से ले लो, कंपनी पहले फॉर्म करो और प्राइवेट लिमिटेड ही करो. Better to start in the college than graduations. These are all 3 speakers for moment. They all are associated with us, and they are startup ecosystem enabler. They are enablers, and this they want promoted, and I am happy to extend more hours with them, considering that they are for you and not for just a conduct of the sessions actually, right? So just reach out to me and DM to me direct messages to me, so that I could leverage them, their services, and along with it that connects Mr. Ravi Bhardwaj sir has already mentioned his contact and also the link of the pro bono in the message, where you can copy the link and ask any legal questions to them. Mr. Dinesh Israni sir, he can just drop down your number, sir, Dinesh sir, in the chat box so that they can have. And Mr. Mihir, Kedar and Ganesh, Thorat just DM to me so that I could share their contact details for any further mentorships. Thank you so much for the sessions, and thank you wearing an extra hour to us with us. Always remember, the speakers' insights and wisdoms are more important than this timings actually, right? Along with it, now I request Zamir sir to please run that video which was left in the start actually, that was promised by Vice Chancellor ma'am, right? So Mr. Jamir sir.
Hello sir.
Yeah, please can you start
I'm
the
running
video?
the video.
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
sir. Could you stop sharing the screen?
Yeah, I'll stop sharing it. I have stopped sharing it, mine.
Yes, sir.
Just before you start the video, let me brief once again about the Pimpri Chinchwad University. Now, the Pimpri Chinchwad University is a dynamic and forward-thinking universities committing to deliver the high-quality educations and also fostering innovations. It is located in the thriving city of the Pimpri Chinchwad Pune belt, and it is strategically positioned within an industrialist belt that includes IT hubs, automobiles industries, and diverse manufacturing sectors. The university offers a diverse range of the programs from the engineering and technology to management, design, liberal arts, mass media, law, pharmacy, health science, and more, ensuring students have a plethora of options to explore. Pimpri Chinchwad University is a part of Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust that is a legacy of nurturing excellence since 1990. Thank you so much. I just request now to run the video.
The Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust has established a state private university known as Pimpri Chinchwad University at Sate, Vadgaon Mawar in Pune Metropolitan Regional Development Authority. It is a 30-acre campus of academic facilities and amenities for students and teachers to help them to achieve their fullest potential. The Pimpri Chinchwad University campus is well connected with the cities Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad by road through Mumbai-Pune National Highway number 4 as well as Mumbai-Pune Expressway. Also, railway station Kanhe is at 1 kilometer distance. The nearest airport is Pune Airport. PCU has its different verticals which prepares leaders from different fields. School of Engineering and Technology. School of Design. School of Media Arts and Communication Studies by incorporating cultural activities, events, and organized tours and trips, fostering a holistic development approach. In a sense, Pimpri Chinchwad University is not just an institution. It is a vibrant ecosystem that nurtures talent, fosters creativity, and provides a platform for students to thrive in every aspect of their academic journey. PCU Bus Transport provides service across the city. Pimpri Chinchwad University, transformative education that empowers success in an evolving world.
Thank you so much all. And remember PCCOE CIIL, Center for Innovation, Incubation and Linkages, at your services for the startups and for any innovations and entrepreneurships journey. Thank you, speakers, and thank you, principal sir, for joining. I'm a call away from you, from all of you. Thank you, university, and thank you all for joining. I say not to say goodbye, but I'm lack of words to connect again and again. Thank you all for bearing with us for a long 1 hour extra.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Permission, principal sir is the most right now. Okay, I could see that principal sir is the most dignified personality here. With your permission, sir, can we stop the recording and stop the session, sir?